Welcome to the Nomad Network, your first stop for complete and comprehensive Chicago Bears football coverage. Dive deep into analyses, updates, and all things Bears. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss a beat. Thank you in advance for your support. We promise to bring you the best because together we're unstoppable. Go Bears.
Go Bears, indeed. I believe I got it working here. Am I live? Hello, am I live? Holler, excuse me. Holler at me in the chat if we're working, because there were some issues with the recording and going live and such. But that's neither here nor there. Atmas, bro. What up to you and the daughters? Now that free agency isn't here for the NFL, I'm looking for any signings, any trades that would affect our beloved Da Bears. But on the left tackle front, the 49ers are now said to be open to trading Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams if the situation doesn't get resolved. A resolution has not been easy, and Williams is frustrated with the process. He is due $32 million in salary with a $38 million cap number. He's still playing at a pretty high level, and speaking of still playing at a high level, my eyes are not, as we get all these screens going and reading. Excuse me while I put on my spectacles. You know, you got to get that. These joints with the blue blocks the screen glare, all that. Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, so if I am unaware of any signings, hit me in the chat. You know, I see Atmas and let me know, and then possibly we will have some guests on in a bit, as well as Nomad and Kids, and possibly myself, will be on later this evening at 6 o'clock on all three networks that we are streaming on right now. The Nomad Network, at Kids the Canuck, and Sports Chicago Style, Triple R SCS. So we're just hanging out, seeing if something jumps off. Hold on, and we'll see. Per Tom Pelissero, as of 10 minutes ago, a reunion veteran wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus is signing with the Falcons. Per sources, 7 years after making Atlanta's roster as an undrafted free agent, Oz is back in the land of ATL on a deal negotiated by his agents. So Ian Cunningham was like, hey, bring Oz with me. Deuces to the Oz. I've been good on him since that Commies game, but that's neither here nor there. What up, Notorious TBG? Much love. Broski Bear, what up, what up? Yeah, so let's see. Anything, nothing like first minute, you know, clock strikes 12 or 11. And no news? What the hell's going on? Pose, you slipping. I mean, I know people mad that we didn't get Mad Max. What are you gonna do? Oh, okay. Here's a re-signing, not Bears. Alec Pierce re-signed with the Colts on a 4-year, $116 million contract, a monster deal for Pierce, who becomes the highest paid wide receiver in NFL free agent history. Pierce becomes the highest paid wide receiver in NFL free agent history? I know I had to read that twice because I think it had to resonate there for a minute. It's like the Colts? Okay. Okay. Do you? You like it? I love it. Let's see. The Patriots are signing linebacker, defensive lineman Draymond Jones to a 3-year, $39 million contract. Jones was with the Titans and the Ravens last year. Blah, blah, blah. So, nothing about Poles doing anything as of yet. Signings. Now, who do you think should be on the top of the list? Because we've already re-signed Daniel Hardy, special teams beast. And then also today, I don't know if you've heard, but I will inform you now as soon as I can get my screen that right. Pardon me. There we go. Thank you. All right. DeMarco Jackson has also this morning, about 4 hours ago, agreed to terms to come back to Chicago on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal with a max value of $10.5 million. So DeMarco Jackson is back in the linebacker room for a couple years, and Daniel Hardy, special teamer, defensive lineman, agreed to a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. He was a former 7th-round pick and had over 20 special teams tackles this past season, and was selected as a Pro Bowl alternate. So, he's a beast out there on special teams, Hardy is. So he's locked up in the fold for a bit, as is Mr. Jackson. He is for real. So we get some consistency coming back thus far, but no new people. Let's see. The Raiders and cornerback Eric Stokes have agreed to a 3-year, $30 million deal, keeping the former first-rounder in Vegas. He gets $20 million guaranteed. Stokes found his footing after leaving the Packers and now cashes in with a deal done by his agents, of who they name. It seems like the Packers are doing something, because I saw something about the Packers earlier. Oh yeah, they made a trade. Well, what was that trade the Packers made? It was excuse me, defensive lineman Rashawn Gary was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. He was kind of menacing for our quarterback, for our offensive line. Not sad to see him gone. All right. Anything I'm missing, people? If you got your sources, your contacts, you ain't got to reveal them. You ain't got to give up the dirt, drop no names. But shit, let us know. Who are we negotiating with? Something has to be going on. Rumors? Well, not rumors, because those be off the chain and not in a good way. The Steelers are re-signing veteran linebacker Cole Holcomb, 2-year, $5 million deal. Nothing. So wait a minute. DJ was traded for a 2nd-round pick. Very nice. And Oz is gone. So what do you think? No Maniacs, Kids Canuckers, and Sport Chicago Stylers. Hey, Stylers, I like that. Yeah, you just heard it created right here live. Yeah, you're going to hear it again, no doubt. Sport Chicago Stylers. Hey, what's up, Sport Chicago Stylers? Sport Chicago Stylers, my people. I like it. But point being, I forgot. The hell was I gonna say? Because it was like, I gotta write that. I don't even have to write that down because it just flows off the tongue. Sports Chicago Stylers. Yeah. But yeah, sorry about that. Yes. Yeah, I was asking you all a question. I forgot the damn question. It'll come back to me. But if it doesn't, if you know any news before I do, let me know. There's no let's see who's out there still. Who's the big fish in free agency? As far as re-signings go, Kevin Byard, I guess he had interest in coming back, and the team wanted him back, but nothing happened. So it looks like he may want to test the market and see what he can get. As the list of Bears free agents that are now out there just in the wild, negotiating with other teams, are Kevin Byard, safety Jaquan Brisker, safety, don't call him Mr. Biles, Jonathan Owens, defensive back Jalen Jones, defensive back Nashawn Wright. A lot of people want him back, but I know he's testing the market to see what he can get. Defensive back CJ Gardner-Johnson. And it's like some people want him back because of his versatility, but his speed or lack thereof really got exposed, I think. Defensive back Nick McLeod. Hey, wasn't he a Walter Payton Man of the Year? Or he did something with the community. Good looks. Right on, Nick. Thank you very much, and good luck out there. Defensive back Elijah Hicks. He's like that. Offensive lineman Bates. I'm sure he Poles, did everything he could to get that dude Ryan Bates and traded for him and then signed him, and it just never worked out. Offensive lineman Braxton Jones. Do we bring him back at left tackle? Because of the Ozzie injury situation. Defensive lineman, big dollar bill, Andrew Billings. Now do your thing, big boy. Defensive lineman, Chris Williams. Defensive lineman, Dominique Robinson is a free agent and technically right now off the team. Quarterback, Case Keenum. Sure. Wide receiver, the aforementioned Olamide Zaccheaus. He's already off the board. Going down to Atlanta. Wide receiver / returner, Devin Duvernay. I would really expect more speed from the returning position, and especially since wide receivers are on the shopping list. Yeah, one is probably going to be a return specialist. Running back Travis Homer, special teams guy. Good luck with that. And linebacker DeMarco Jackson, who has been re-signed by the team. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So if I'm adding that up right, that's 18. Roster positions now open because of free agency. One has been re-signed in DeMarco Jackson, and then the other on the list that I've heard about is Zaccheaus. But other than that, we are wide open. So what will happen in the first 27 minutes? Ain't a damn thing happened for us. And that's kind of surprising because, last few years, when the clock, boom, deals was being signed. What up, Raymond? Mr. Granderson. Ha-ha, Mr. Shouty. Ha-ha, spaghetti, motherfucker, spaghetti. You heard me? All right, so let's see. Kevin Byard testing the market. Nothing of note. No rumor. Well, like I say, rumors, not rumors, but actual negotiations. It's like, hey, the Bears are in on Hendrickson. With Dallas just traded for Gary, so I mean, maybe they still pay Hendrickson. Who knows what they doing down there with that plantation? But in negotiations with nobody. Oh, it's like Christmas morning, and you wake up for your presents, but but the tree's empty and you're kind of like disappointed, but it's okay because you gotta wait for your dad to come because Santa took all the stuff to dad's house and he's gonna bring it over later. So it's okay. Santa didn't forget us. And free agency won't forget the Bears, right, Ryan Poles? It's just the deals are in the works because with the success that the team had in Ben Johnson's first year, the expectations are higher than that, baby. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, you want to get in the playoffs? Okay, well now you got to get higher in the playoffs, or it's a step backwards. It's not a progress toward the Super Bowl. So that includes, getting Dennis Allen the players that fit his scheme. He was working with Flus's players, and he did what he did. So I would suspect that the whole defense will have a new face. Tremaine is already gone. I forgot to mention him. It's Chicago, yeah, and no mas. But the defense is going to get younger, obviously, in the draft. But free agency thus far, I'm good with not spending 2 first-round picks on Max Crosby. No, thank you. I mean, he's a great player, but they're late in the round first picks. They're practically seconds. Yeah, practically my ass. They still first-round picks, and they still have value. Not as much value at 25 as, let's say, 11 that I believe the Baltimore Ravens had. They gave up 2 of those, for the next couple of years for him. And it's like 11 versus 25, still first round. 11 has more value. Of course, they're going to go at that offer. And thank you for not offering up something else, because with the holes on this team, the question at left tackle, the trading for Mr. Bradbury, that was on time, because as we see, the center market is cray right now. Linderbaum, 20 mil or abouts. The Bears could make that happen, but it's like, trade a 5th rounder next year that he'll gladly trade you for a starting caliber center today. Cool. And then I'm sure we will also address center in the draft, because some are saying that they're training up Luke Newman, who looked pretty good last season at guard. His snapping was a little sus, but they were looking at him as maybe a center. But I'm thinking Newman is the heir apparent to Jackson. You got Jordan McFadden at left guard backing up Joe Thuney. We need an actual dedicated center who's done it. And so, it wouldn't be a first rounder or a second rounder, because I don't think centers start coming off the board till end of the second, third round, or what have you. So all that to say that being a first round pick at 25, I think Ryan Poles trades back out of that first round into, the second, third, fourth rounders, where the meat of this draft is, because it's a middle heavy draft, not a top heavy draft. So to get back into those sweet spots, I can see a trade back. Let's see what it was at. Pole's gonna do some deals at 1 or 3 a.m. Yeah, he do be a night owl. Burning the midnight oil. Do what you got to do. Still just news of nada. Just the same. Well, Cade Otton is returning to Tampa Bay. Here we go. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. What is that? The rich getting richer? Right on. So what they got to pay him? Like 15, 18 mil, you think? Let's gamble on how much money he going to get paid per season. Coming off of a Super Bowl MVP. And it's like the chefs have been creating money because they traded the cornerback McDuffie to the Chargers or the Rams, one of those for a pick. And so they've been clearing salary. How much does Mr. Walker require? Say 13. That's a guess, Raymond. I don't think that's enough. 13. Oh, wait, hold on. The Chicago Bears are among teams that are interested in Steelers cornerback James Pierre, per Josina Anderson. She also said that Pierre had a coaching connection with Chicago. I don't know what that is. It didn't specify because this isn't the article. This is a quote from it. So, all right, here we go. Interest in cornerback James Pierre. Does James Pierre meet that Dennis Allen requirement that he likes in cornerbacks? All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, just the Walker news. We already repeated that. It's better now. I can see. Oh yeah, K-Dot and the tight end re-signing. We saw that already with the Buccaneers. Nope, no signings for us. But now, here's the interesting thing. With the way Ryan Poles built this team, now we are in a position that when we lose free agents and they sign with other teams, the quality of the players we are losing is better than it has been in his tenure. So the quality has been going up and up and up. And if some of these players are able to, sign the contracts that outweigh the amount that I believe we spend in contracts, there's comp picks involved in there. And so as this team builds to be a perennial contender, we will lose players. We will get draft players and then flip them for draft picks before having to extend them. We haven't had that kind of depth. We haven't had that kind of talent to be able to do that. And so when we look at San Francisco, being consistently pretty good, having good teams, and then they get rid of a player and bring in all kind of draft capital, and then now they have the draft capital to spend on CMC, have the picks to play with. Just because you have extra picks don't mean you got to pick with them. You can use them for trade fodder for whatever you need. So as Poles progresses, I can see how, as this team is getting better, hopefully we have our franchise quarterback, hopefully, that offensive line can be solidified a little bit better. Hopefully the defense, there's a lot of hopefullys, I know. But we are on the right track, and Coach Football Psycho Ben Johnson, he's keeping it in line. So as we lose players, hopefully the exit plan strategy would be to gain an asset for those players in trade, in a comp pick, in some kind of way. But that seems to be the way teams. Oh, hold on. What is it? Get better. All right. Another former Chiefs cornerback in LA, former KC quarterback Jalen Watson, reached an agreement today on a three-year with the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams now will have two former chef cornerbacks Watson and McDuffie, the KC Rams. Ah, yeah, good one, Adam. All right, so yeah, McDuffie, the one, yeah, it was the Rams. Okay, cool. So yeah, you flip good players and you keep building those assets and you find the superstars and you win. You yes, and you win. That's what happens. All right, so no signings, no. All right, here we go. Here's the news. It's a 3-year deal worth up to 45 million for Kenneth Walker, who becomes the highest paid free agent deal for a running back in NFL history. I think we're going to be hearing that a lot with these signings. The biggest deal in NFL history, because every year the next guy got to be the highest paid, you know, beyond the last guy, every position, got to get more, got to get more. And especially with um the cap number going up. So now free agents are going to request more because they know there's more to be spent. So they want to get their money. 3 years, 45 million. Is that, let's see, is that 13 a year? What's the math on that, Raymond? Because math, 3 10, let's see, 15, 30. No, that's 15. That's 15, right? 15, 30, 45. Yeah. And see, you was one off, he was two off. See, I'm trying to do math over here, and you messing up my math, Raymond. What? See, because here's the thing. In the chat, we build with the chat, and Raymond said he probably get about 13, and that's like okay. And then it ended up being 15, and he said he was one off. And so it's like, wait a minute, 13, 14, then 14. No, he was two off, Raymond. Damn it, two off. But yeah, 15 mil a year. Is that a lot? Well, obviously it's a lot. It's the highest free agent deal, but 15 mil versus what are we paying DeAndre Swift? 7.5, 8 mil. So is that 7 mil more? Damn. That's substantial for a running back, right? Because wasn't it Saquon Barkley just a few years ago pulling out teeth and just trying to get 12 million a year? And now we're already up to 15. 15, as some say. So yeah, these prices are going to be crazy. Crazy, cray. But yeah, okay, he's worth it. I can dig it. All right, what is this? The Commies Pro Bowl left tackle Laramie Tunsil reached an agreement on a 2-year, $60 million contract extension with the Commies. There are 61.5 mil in guarantees, including the biggest signing bonus for an offensive lineman at 32.5 million. Jeez, okay. Tunsil was the NFL's first 20 million per year offensive lineman. He was the league's first 25 million per year offensive lineman, and now the first $30 million per year offensive lineman. God damn. Right on, Mr. Tunsil. Get your money, my boy. Because he was the one back in the day when he was drafted that was token or smoking or something. Wasn't that Tunsil? And that kind of hurt his draft stock or something. It was something. It didn't hurt that much. I'm sure he got the stickiest of the icky right now. You know what I'm saying? Putting his toes in the sand, having some island princess play with his feet. I don't know, but you do your thing, my boy. So the Commies in their left tackle position should be solidified for a few years at that deal. And there still seems to be no Bears Movement. Ah. Ah. Ooh. All right. Nope. There's nothing there. Any updates? Uh, people in the chat. Everybody. Kids, the Canuckers. The Canuckers. I like that one. No Maniacs, the Kids, the Canuckers, and the Sports Chicago Stylers. What up, y'all? Right on. This it just comes to me. I don't know. I don't ask for it. I don't look for it. It just boom. A lot of things just boom, boom. Ah, as you can tell from the content there on Sports Chicago Style. Wait, what is this now? All right. Jalen Phillips, defensive end, has agreed to a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Carolina Panthers with $80 million in guarantees. So there is another defensive end off the board. All right, Jalen Phillips, 4-year, $120 million. Wait, so that's 15. Wait, so 612. No, it's not 60. How much is that a year? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30 mil a year for Jalen Phillips. So are we thinking that Trey Hendrickson is gonna want like 35, 40? Hmm. Hmm. I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. Hmm. How much money we got? We got a few. The Bears have around 23 million in cap space after the Jackson deal. They have 0 safeties, 2 defensive tackles. Yeah, oh damn, what's this all about? After hearing he was traded to the Buffalo Bills, DJ Moore was reportedly over the moon with excitement. Cool. Uh, mm, yeah. There's money being spent, players being signed, but none of thus far by the Bears. Yep. No. the I'm sorry not to bag on him. But it says veteran wide receiver Lamar Zaccheaus expected to sign with the Falcons. The reliable Zaccheaus had 39 catches, 313 yards, and 2 TDs last year. And it's like, he's a good blocker. He was always the first in the end zone to celebrate when one of his teammates made a TD. He was reliable for that. But his mittens. Uh yeah. Some people are mad about the DJ trade because it's like you want to keep that continuity with the offense. And he's such a dog out there, Wolverine, if you will. Playing through stuff sometimes to his and the team's detriment. But he's a football player. And he's a good football player, and you want good football players. But his age, his contract, the room, it's a business decision, as they say. I'm sure and I hope he will go out there and be productive AF. Wait, here's some news. Michael Pittman is being traded to the Steelers. Michael Pittman. What is he, a running back? What is he? No, that's the wide receiver, isn't it? From the Colts. It saves the Colts over 20 million in cap and fits the need for the Steelers for a veteran wide receiver. Yeah, they paid Pierce, and it was like, all right, Deuce's Pitt. And you got to make moves. It's a business decision. But the return, shit, a second round pick, that is the Carolina trade, and I trade is still being milked, if you will, because DJ was a part of that trade. And so now with DJ being traded, you still got a second round pick in 2026, from that trade after 3 years of service with DJ. And we do appreciate that. So that's not a bad deal if you're looking at that deal aspect of it. Now, the on the field continuity with the wide receivers, let's be honest. Did we ever see continuity between Caleb and DJ? Yes, they completed passes. Yes, DJ ran routes and Caleb found them. Or yes, they made plays, but the chemistry, the unspoken knowledge. Granted, it was the first season under Ben Johnson, but their second season together. By then, I want my number one wide receiver and quarterback to be able to just look, and they look, and he knows it's like, oh yeah, this is a slant because of the coverage. I want them being able to see out of the same eyes. If he's like, he's going to improvise, he knows he's going to improvise. I know that's wanting a lot, but we ain't see none of that. And it's not a knock on the thing. It's just saying that, yes, DJ was instrumental in winning the Packers games because of those catches. And if he's not there, who's making that play? Well, that's the thing about team sports. The next season, there's going to be different players, and somebody has to make that play. So we don't know who it is, but if the scouting process, if the development process is all on pace, which we hope it is, by looking at the last year's rookie class and how they were able to contribute, to a man almost, if we can keep that going forward, we should be good. It's I don't know. It seems as though maybe Caleb had a better connection with Loveland and even Burton sometimes, because it was just he was really building that rapport with Loveland before he went down. We could see that. And that looked like more chemistry than DJ, is just my point. And it's like, yeah, Rome, the beginning of the season, Rome Odunze, he was cooking. And it was becoming, a thing that is like, oh shit, Rome, okay. But then that injury, that foot injury or heel injury, whatever the hell he got, it derailed his whole season. And now, being not healthy but trying to tough it out, you're not you as an athlete. You're a percentage of yourself. And does that account for some of the drops? Is that an excuse? Is that a reason? This can't be a reason, because wasn't nothing wrong with his hands. It was his foot. But mentally, he could be off because it's like, ouch, damn, I missed. You just never know. And if you're hurt as a player, just come back healthily. And that's another thing I got a beef with this damn training staff. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it loud and proud. Why are we putting players back on the field too soon, and they injure themselves in the damn warm-ups and now are out for another couple weeks instead of just keeping them out for another week and let them heal? Thank you. That was wrong. That was Spidey, Kyler Gordon. They were injured. They came back, and it's like, okay, we're going to get him back. And it's like, oh, yeah, they're not playing today because in warm-ups, they re-injured themselves. So, yeah, they'll be out another few weeks. And that happened a couple times. So the medical staff in this in Hallis Hall. I need to see some changes. Let's see, what is this? The Giants have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with former Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely. So Likely goes to the G-Men. Let's see. And after the trade of Pittman to the Steelers, they are preparing to sign Pittman to an extension. We knew the Jalen Phillips news. Oh, wait, here we go. We got Bears news. 2 minutes ago, according to Tom Pelissero, the Bears are signing defensive tackle Neville Gallimore to a 2-year, $12 million deal. Sources tell insiders. Deal negotiated by Lyft Sports Management. Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle. Talk to me. Who is that? How does he play? Now, all of the signings, Nomad and Kids will be on later this evening at 6 p.m. Central to break down everyone that we did sign and how they fit and who they are as players. So make sure you are back right here on the Nomad Network, all the Nomaniacs, at Kids of Canuck with all the Kids of Canuckers, and Sports Chicago Style with all the Sports Chicago Stylers. And tune on back in, and we gonna see what's what and who else we signed and what the hell is what. All right, so we have a defensive tackle, Neville Gallimore. Speak of the devil, and the devil shall appear. Not that Kids is a devil, but he is. He got horns, all of that stuff. I see you, Kids, the Canuck. You know, he's a Canucker. That's what your people are, kids. They're Canuckers. Uh-huh. And he said, "Oh, okay. Neville Gallimore. He's from Ottawa, Canada. Okay. He got that maple syrup hookup, maybe a little Canadian mist. Right on. All right. Hold on. Let me pull out other thing over here and get your mind out the gutters, and then I will give you a few specifics or details. N-E-V, Neville. That is just a very I will always no, not that Neville. I don't think I've ever heard that name other than that Neville. The Neville brothers, wasn't that name? Gallimore, G-A-L-L-I. There we go. Canadian football defensive tackle, 29 years old, 6'2", 307 pounds. He went to Canada Prep Academy, St. Patrick's High School. He was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He joined 2025 is with the Colts, 2024 is with the Rams, and 2020 with the Cowboys. And there is that Canadian representing, because one of his countrymen from Ottawa, Canada, is now on the Bears. What do you think about that, kids?
I don't know if it's awesome for the Bears, but it's awesome for me. It's awesome for me for sure. This is a kid I know very well. He played for the same like city type team as my son. He's a couple years older, and I used to watch him on a regular basis. Him and the quarterback for that team, his younger brother used to play wide receiver with my son, like on my son's team. So they would play together all the time. Like, I'd see a lot of Neville. Neville's a really good mannered kid. I know he before he went to the US, he was kind of looking. He gave my son a little bit of a walkthrough here in the university, Canadian university here, before he actually went off to the US and started his trajectory into the U.S. draft and stuff. Great kid, man. Know the family, good family. He'll bring a good demeanor to the team. That much I can tell you. What it do, Shorty, man? Good to see you, man. But yeah, he can play ball, man. He's actually pretty good. He's a good little bowling ball. I'd say something in the vein of your Travis Bell, a little bit bigger than Travis Bell, but a little bit slower than Travis Bell. But all that being said,
a run stuffer kind of guy.
I'm gonna say no. He's more of a rush the passer type of guy. Right. So he's gonna break through and try and get at that, add that pressure, get at that QB, man. That's Neville. I haven't really been watching too much of him in the NFL because he's been in places that I don't pay attention to, aka the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he was somewhere else last year, but I know he was with the Colts last year. So he was with Dallas. Dallas drafted him. He did all right over there, got another contract with the Colts. I assume more than anything he is a depth player at the defensive tackle position, which we require. But I'll say the thing that immediately popped into mind, I think, in my opinion, that's probably this signing is probably because they're leaning towards Akeem Medziador to make things feel a little bit more at home. Because again, Akeem and him would have been playing against each other. I think Akeem's a year younger than him. They would have played against each other in tight growing up. They would know each other very well.
So who do you think Neville? Love that name.
It's like one of the most Jamaican names you could possibly have, by the way. Shout out to the Jamaicans in Canada, aka me.
So who is he like the Chris Williams replacement or the dollar bill replacement, you think?
Chris Williams.
Okay.
Chris Williams, not so much dollar bill. He ain't that big. You know what I mean? He ain't that kind of bowling ball, man. You know what I mean?
Does he get fired?
He's a bowling ball, not a butterball.
He played to the whistle. You got that dog in him.
He does have the dog in him. At least he did as a younger kid. So I haven't been watching him in the NFL, so we'll have to go back and actually take a look at some tape. What did they pay for Neville? Do you know what the dollars and cents was?
I do not have the numbers yet, but while we research that, I do have a few announcements.
Okay.
The Jets have reached an agreement today with defensive end Joseph Osai.
Holy crap.
On a 3-year, $36 million deal that includes $22.5 guaranteed. So defensive end Joseph Osai is off the board. The sources say the Dolphins are signing Packers quarterback Malik Willis. The quarterback has landed in Miami with a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with $45 million fully guaranteed. Malik Willis replaces Tua with the Fins. All right, 2-year, $12 million deal for.
Yeah, so I'm looking at that. So $6 million a year. Okay, I can see why.
All right, let's see. Brad Biggs is saying Gallimore, 29, had 3.5 sacks for the Colts last season and is considered a solid run defender. Originally a third-round pick by Dallas in 2020, he's also spent time with the Rams. Missed only 4 games over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. So 4 games over the last seasons. I got 4 sacks here that I'm looking at. 38 total tackles, which is a lot of tackles, y'all, at the position. So he's stuffing the run as well. That goes without even saying. That's a heavy lift from even his last season being somewhat a prove-it year on a 1-year deal in Indianapolis. He did very well. So it's a heavy lift. 10 more sacks than his first season, which was his highest. 10 more tackles than in his first season, which was his highest tackle rate. Played all 17 games. He's reliable. 43% of snaps he was playing on that defense, and that defense played actually quite well, as I'm sure you guys are well aware of. $6 million a piece sounds like a great deal for Neville. I don't know if that's the best negotiating Ryan Poles has ever done, but at the end of the day, I think he expects big things from the kid to be able to A, stuff the run, and B, get to the quarterback. And it looks like he did quite a bit of that last year.
All right, and shout out to my man Cream, but he said that Neville's his overall on Madden 72
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like again, he's
That's
coming in
solid.
No, it's not. But he's coming in on a he's coming in on a prove-it deal to Indianapolis. So that's the thing about Neville. If you're looking at any rating that he would have in Madden, it's going to be based on the previous season. So now that he's started to sort of step up his game a little bit, increase the amount of tackles that he's had, increase the amount of sacks that he's had, I'd give him a bit of a higher rating than a 72, that's for sure. But most DTs who aren't big name DTs come in at a 72 or 75.
Yeah, mid 70s. Yeah. But I mean, it's not 60s.
No, it ain't 60s. It could be.
I mean?
It could be.
It is, but was it 6 mil? I don't know. But I mean, when you say 6 mil a year, that's high. You know, would you have wanted Jalen Phillips at 30 mil a year?
No, they can't afford no 30 mil a year.
Well, the cap is a myth.
It is, but then you have to write the myth, right? You know, you have to write the mythology. What I mean by that is now you got to go back to each one of your players that you stuffed a bunch of cash in their pocket over extended periods of time and go, hey, like, we got to renegotiate and we got to change things up and give you money up front, and you got to make those machinations. I don't know if Ryan Poles is really ready to make those machinations, because the problem is then you pay for it next year or the year after that. Like, that's sooner, the further you kick the can down the road, eventually you have to pay the piper at some point. Do you want to do that? I don't know if you want to do that, man. So that's where I'm at. But Ben, I do think he overpaid Neville. I won't lie about that. I do think he overpaid a little bit here. I think you might have been able to get 2 Nevilles for that 6 and change. But we'll see. Like, I'm hoping he does it. To be frank with you, though, I would have just as easily gone with a Sheldon Rankin for, a little bit more than that. Oh, did he resign already? Yeah. Oh, I missed that.
He resigned before the period started.
Okay. But like that's the kind of player that I would be looking towards.
But I also believe he signed for a lot more than that too.
Did he really? Let's take a quick. Actually, I can probably find that out right now.
Let's see. Mentioned already. Likely signed that 3-year, $40 million contract with the Giants.
So he signed a 2-year deal for what? What did he sign for? Does it say? Or is this a 1-year deal? Maybe this isn't updated yet. Let's check the Twitterverse.
Does it show that it is resigned now?
It does.
Okay.
Oh snap! Yeah, they paid way more than that. They paid him $26 million on a 2-year.
Wait, 26 on a 2-year?
Yeah, that's $13 million.
That's 13.
Yeah.
So 6 or 13. Is the play gap that different?
Yes.
Okay. Is it so that extra, $6-7 mil is worth it?
You're paying for, you get what you pay for. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, it is worth it. $12 million guaranteed to come by. I'm just happy that a kid from my hometown made a couple of bucks off the NFL. That's all I could really say about this. I'm pleased about that. That's very cool for Neville and his family. But reality here is, getting to that upper echelon of defensive tackle might cost you a couple bucks. And same token, they may be like, there's a lot of conversation about a certain Jalen Carter, so they may be in conversations about getting another DT here. This way, they don't have to focus on that position in the draft. So
Now,
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, there is a reunion of veteran linebacker Demario Davis is signing with the Jets, Jets, on a 2-year, $22 million deal with 15 fully guaranteed. Davis just turned 37 years old.
Crazy.
And this is year 15 in the league.
He's getting paid what?
A 2-year, $22 million.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Good for him. That's crazy. I think it'll be quiet too, Patrick. I don't think anything spectacular is happening. You're saying it too, like maybe a Bagent trade. If a Bagent trade happens, I unfortunately feel like they probably won't be getting what I would like to get out of the deal, or what Shorty would like to get out of the deal, which is everything under the sun, clearly, because he doesn't want to get rid of Tyson Bagent at all. But that might happen. Outside of that, I don't think it's going to be. I think we're back where we were when we started this thing, which was build through the draft. I think that's what's gonna happen, and I think he's going to plug holes now to make that an actuality. So we have our left tackle of the future. He's unfortunately on IR. I expect them to probably find a left tackle over the next week, not necessarily today, but over the next week. I don't think it's going to be a big name, like a big dollar signing, but it'll be a signing nonetheless to stave things off so that Ozzie can come back and take over the reins. We got the center. It's really defensive line that I think they're going to want to address, and perhaps wide receiver. Keep your eyes peeled for wide receiver. We did lose Olamide Zaccheaus, I'm under the impression of. I did hear something.
He signed with Atlanta.
Yeah, so Olamide Zaccheaus is gone. That being said, we may wind up grabbing a middle of the road wide receiver out there, Laviska Shenault, somebody like that can do a couple of things, and it's just not going to be a big deal. 20, $30 million sign. I just don't see anything like that happening.
Well, here's another defensive tackle signing for the Saints, though. John Ridgeway got a 2-year, $6 million deal. So $3 million. So he got half of what Navarro got.
And this is who, John Ridgeway?
Yeah.
Just bear with me. I just want to do a quick little comparison from what I've seen here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, completely different player, man. He's Neville's worth a couple more. He's worth at least twice as much.
Okay.
Just looking at what we're talking about. John Ridgeway played 4 games last year. 6.49 snaps. Neville played 17 games, 43% of snaps. He had 4 sacks on the season. John's got 0 sacks in his career. Tackles on season 11 last year. In its 17-game season, 31, which is pretty close to Neville. That's pretty good. But again, no little to no pass rush or pressure. So there's a stark difference between the two if we're comparing.
All right. Well, now here's some possible news. The Bears, per J. Jones 9, are eyeing Seahawks safety Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Just 26 years old, 6'1", good ball skills. So the Bears are actually in the rumor mill right now, and that has to do with safety Kobe Bryant.
That makes sense because it doesn't sound. We're getting to the 11th hour here. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a Jaquan Brisker revival. Still time for a Kevin Byard re-signing. And if it was me, like, you don't rock this particular boat, man. You sign this guy and shut up about it. Jaquan, unfortunately, much like I was saying before, I don't think they got the pockets for that.
For Kwani?
For Kwani B, man. I don't want him at 25, Patrick. I want him just like he's a linebacker. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want like Jacob Rodriguez is super good. There's about 3 or 4 other guys that I would replace him with. Kyle Lewis. There's a couple other guys. I would go get your edge. If you didn't do edge in free agency, if you didn't do edge last season or the season before, right? Just get your edge, man. Get your edge early in the draft, and then get your linebacker and or safety, depending on what you can do today at those positions in free agency. What are we looking at?
Can you see it there? It's a draft tracker.
Oh, Giants to sign a punter. Did you address Kenneth Walker going to Kansas City?
Yeah, we mentioned that. What are your thoughts on that?
Like, just don't let these guys get a running back. What are you doing? Somebody sign this guy before they get a running back. Sometimes you got to play defense, and it isn't all just about money. Sometimes
15 mil a year. You think that's too much for him, or is that about right?
It's a lot of. He just ran Sam Darnold into the Super Bowl and won it. So, like, partner that with Patrick Mahomes. What's 50 mil?
All right. Quarterback Mitch Trubisky has agreed to terms on a 2-year deal with the Titans. The Jets are signing defensive end Ignabare on a 1-year deal. I guess he was formerly with the Titans, and that's $10 million for that 1 year. The Saints defensive tackle Ridgeway, we saw that one. The Jets defensive end Osai, we saw that one. So I think we're caught up. Vikings signed cornerback James Pierre.
Okay, corners are making good money.
Yeah, the Pittman, in Pittsburgh, getting a new deal. And you saw how much
Holy crap. Can you go back to that? 3 years, 50, it's like 60 mil.
So 20 mil a year.
Okay,
the Steelers are giving wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. a new 3-year, $59 million deal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so basically 20 a year.
That's crazy. All right.
But did you see what Pierce got?
Well, but I can understand the Pierce thing. He was going to make that kind of money anywhere. They needed to re-sign him because they need him. They have a quarterback. They have a connection. Pittsburgh doesn't necessarily even have a quarterback. We'll see if Aaron decides to step away from my ayahuasca vacation to.
Well, here's some news. The Patriots agree to terms with fullback Gilliam.
Yeah, that's big money for a fullback, though.
3-year, $12 million, $6 million guaranteed.
No, that's okay. That's all right money.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers signed linebacker Anzalone.
Alex
Anzalone, 2-year, $17 million.
Down to the Buccaneers. That's a good move for Anzalone. There's speculation he might wind up here, but I guess not. The Giants are not done.
Yeah, well, punter, I think we're caught up now. Running back Gainwell to sign with Tampa Bay. Tight end Hooper signing 1-year deal with the Falcons.
Is in the Falcons because the Falcons, I assume, have let Kyle Pitts.
I thought they tagged him.
Did they tag him?
I thought they did.
It's possible.
Yeah, so we got on the screen here the NFL free agency tracker. Shout out to all the No Maniacs,
Yeah,
to
he's tagged.
all the kids, the Canuckers, and to all the sports Chicago Stylers. Those are the names, kids.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, so he's definitely tagged as far as Kyle Pitts is concerned. So maybe they're just bolstering the position or using him for using him for more blocking, more of a Cole Kmet role, whereas Pitts is more of a wide receiver. But all that being said, man, I'm gonna jump back to the thing that actually pays me. I will see you guys later on. If they hire any more Canadians, I'll definitely be back. But
right on. So you what is that? 6 o'clock Central?
6 Central, 7 Eastern. I'll see you guys later on. We'll recap what went down.
Rock on. Thanks for jumping on.
Peace, y'all.
Right on. Shout out to kids. Had to represent for the Canucks, or the Canadians, if you will. So make sure you are coming back on later to see all of the happenings of the day and hear Nomad and kids and possibly myself, break it all down. So other than the you all can see the screen here, right? Let me see if I can make it one bit bigger, because this is supposedly refreshing as it goes. Got that annoying ass sidebar over there. And there we go. All right. The last transaction across the wire. Hunter Wright signs a 4-year deal with the Saints. Vikings punter Ryan Wright is signing a 4-year, $14 million deal. Includes $8 million guaranteed. Punters getting paid. Fullbacks getting paid by other teams, not by the Bears. All right. So what do we think? Would Kobe Bryant be an upgrade to the defensive backfield? And is he a free or a more strong safety? I don't know. But I'm thinking he's pretty good. That would be a nice upgrade, I'm thinking. You know what I mean? But I'm just not sure at what position. Is he, the Brisker replacement or the Buyer replacement, quote unquote, so to speak? Let's see. All right. So yeah, you would like it. All right. All right. The Brisker replacement. Okay, Raymond. So he's a strong. I like it. Let's see if the power of polls compels you to make it happen. Because thus far, we've just got a little defensive tackle depth in the form of the Canadian, Neville Gallimore. He fits the DA mold at defensive tackle, but also makes me question the path the team is taking on defense in 2026. Undersized this is Rob Schwartz that I'm reading here. Undersized defensive tackle, 6'2", 300 pounds, athletic, nice first step, had 17 pressures last year. However, not a run stopper, which he had said, which is what I think this defense truly needs. Well, I'm glad you think that's what they need. But hey, if he can get some pressure and he can play ball, welcome. Let's see, we got across the wire from the NFL free agency trade market updates. The Commanders are signing cornerback Robertson to a 2-year deal. Veteran cornerback from the Kitties, Amik Robertson, on a 2-year, $16 million deal with 9.3 guaranteed. So the Kitties lose a cornerback. Okay, all right. So who we getting, y'all? Who we getting? I want some more players, cause we got a lot of holes to fill. Ryan Poles and uh what the hell's New Ian's name? Kelly Scott. Uh, the new assistant general manager. Titles matter nowadays, according to the league for them comp picks. I still want my comp picks league. I want my comp picks from that movie, but I'm not gonna say that whole line, because no man would have a baby. But yeah, so I don't know. Right on, Trubisky. No, I did see a picture of Trubisky recently. And he was with his wife, and she was pregnant, and he was holding a kid like a little toddler or something. And it's like, oh, I remember when Mitch was just coming out of college, driving a little Toyota Sentra or Civic, whatever the fuck it was, and he was our quarterback, and it was like, oh yeah, oh. And now he's a husband with children, and it's like, man, how old am I? Oh yeah, that is gray. Right on. But yeah, I mean, just watching these kids, go from college prospects, watch them grow up and become adults. It's just crazy. But yeah, congratulations to him. He was always a good kid. Just not enough. All right. Wait. What do you got? Oh no. Let's see. According to Brad Biggs, what's the next position for the Bears to fill? Maybe safety. They have a blank depth chart right now. If they do not resign Kevin Byard, and that has been a goal, wonder if they would pivot to Nick Cross. From the Colts. Yeah, the safety. Man, Cross and Bryant, would that be a nice upgraded safety unit if we can make that happen? Oh, that would be lovely. Oh, wait, hold on. We got news. According to Tom Pelissero, the Bears are signing safety Kobe Bryant, per sources. Let's go. I'm talking. All right. So Ryan Poles he's on the clock. He's working. So Kobe Bryant from the Super Bowl winning Seahawks is in the fold. It doesn't say here yet on the screen. If you look at your screen, it just came across the wire, but 3 minutes ago. But yeah, signing, but no contract terms or whatever the hell. But yes. Thank you. Okay, Ryan Poles, let's go. All right, anything else? Yeah, so with the signing of Bryant, I'm seeing that he's more of a Kevin Byard replacement than Brisker. So people are seeing him as more of a free, I guess. And so if so, that means, Byard is out of there too, permanently. All right, now hold on, what is this? Now news on, I think this is Neville. Oh, he got in the gym playing basketball, doing crossovers and dribbles behind the back, dunking the basketball. And then Greg Gabriel, GG, big up. What up to the Podfather Aldo, all due respect. This is Greg Gabriel. I was told 2 weeks ago that the Bears are trying to improve speed along the defensive line, especially inside. A Colts front office member told me that Neville is tough as nails, fast, plays his ass off, strong and a disruptor. That's exactly what I was told the Bears were looking for. That's what I'm looking for. So Neville was targeted because of his attributes, and the Bears got their guy. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. And because he's from Canada, cool. You know, it's all goody goody. Let's see, we got any Bears are signing Bryant, but still no financial details. But whatever. Whatever. Let's get it. Let's get it, Bears fans. How we feeling about the Bears signing of Kobe Bryant? How you feeling, the Maniacs? How you feeling, Canuckers? How you feeling, Sports Chicago Stylers? Okay. Are we like, okay, all right, we doing some things. You know what I'm saying? Getting younger in safety, getting faster back there. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let me make sure because I got two different screens working over here. Got me working day and night. Is that still working? There we go. We'll put that one over there. And so, yeah, that'll go up there. Let's get a refresh going here. I think it auto refreshes, but you know. Yeah, there you go. All right. So it's been not a big name signing because Kobe Bryant, is he a big name, so to speak? But in the safety area, maybe so. I don't know. But he's a solid player. And it seems like Neville is a pretty solid player. Not stars, not big names, but let's see. From Jacob, the wrestler Infante. I don't. Let's see. What am I reading here? New Bears safety Kobe Bryant in 2025, 84.0 PFSN safety impact score, which was 11th. 4 interceptions, which was 4th. 78.4 targeted passer rating, which is the best in the free agent class, and a 75 plus run defense grades for the last 2 years. Solid player. So Kevin Byard, thank you for your service and your time, and good luck out there on open market, because I think we just got younger and faster and a little upgrade there. Now, granted, Byard is a wily veteran, had all those interceptions, and he's still a good player. But I think going forward, wait, here we go. We got some numbers. The Bears are bringing in Bryant on a 3-year, $40 million deal, which could signal the end of Brisker's time in Chicago by making their options to bring back, I don't know, Brisker to Byard to Brisker, whoever goes, whoever stays, I don't know. But Bryant is making $40 million on a 3-year deal. That's not, outrageous money. I'm sure it's good money for him. It seems to be a good money for budget-wise, cap-wise. What do you think, y'all? Is $40 million for 3 years good? So what is that, like 13 a year for safety? Yeah, 13 point. Look at my math in the head. 13.33 mil a year. He's younger. So yeah. Let's see. Some are saying that Neville is better than Williams and Billings. He's probably a defensive tackle 4. Why pay Byard and Bryant? Gonna have to draft another safety. Yeah. But I mean, remember, there's Brisker, who's the strong, Byard, who was kind of the free. Now we know that Dennis Allen likes that versatility, and so he's going to want to be able to have that be interchangeable, I would think. And then it looks like Bryant fits better than that. Now, updated news: the Lions are signing center Cade Mays. Looks like he's from the Panthers. No financial details. So centers are definitely moving around the league. Now we are caught up on Robertson. We know about the Bryant signing, 3 years, $40 million. And the punter, the Falcons are signing a punter. Yeah. 3 year, $9 million, $3 million a year, 5 guaranteed. The Lions are dressing their offensive line, which is also now in somewhat of a shambles, as is the rest of the Kitties team. So yeah, I love to see it. Love to see it. Oh, and our obligatory FGB for the day. Yeah, there it is. The financial details for the Robinson. I think we already get that. Oh, who else are we gonna get? Who else are we gonna get? Let's see. Draft and still try to sign Brisker cheap. Brisker is trying to get paid. Brisker, Quantity B's, and I ain't mad at him. Let me clarify that up front. Get your money, my boy. But as you can tell, he's trying to maximize his contract value. So there will be no hometown team friendly discounts because technically his hometown is Pittsburgh, I think. But no team friendly discounts and none of that. And I wouldn't expect him to take it. Get what you can get. And if it ain't here, it ain't here. But also, I ain't trying to overpay him either. So good luck out there. Because he's a good kid. But he got to get his money while he can get his money. And I support that fully. I just wouldn't give it to him here. I'm just saying. But if we do, cool. Yay. But if we don't, cool. It's all love. It's all love. Let's see. Nothing new. This is a very kind of slow moving thing. Usually a little more jumps off. A little faster. In the recent years. Other than the Falcons to sign 41-year-old kicker Folk. No people. Nick Folk, a 2-year deal, is back for his 20th NFL season. 20 years in the league, punting. Folks making his money. Because he's going to have a nice retirement from the league. 20 years? Yeah. Nice. Hey, do your thing. Do your thing. Let's see. Am I missing anything, people? Do you all have any sources? And I guess we are on the actual trade ticker or signing ticker, but if any rumors, innuendos, let's see. Yep, Kobe Bryant, safety, has had 7 INTs over the last 2 years, started 34 games. With his time in Seattle, amassed 7 forced fumbles and 17 passes defensed. LFG. Okay. All right. Okay. No, nothing but Brisker to Byard, we don't know, but Brian is in the house. Wait. Brisker, Byard, Bryant. The alliteration in the safety room is ridiculous. Oh, and who is this J Jones 09? Jack Jones. You know, these insiders and who is what is it, a dog? Ricky? Pretty Ricky? No, that Pretty Ricky, somebody different. Is Ricky. And then the just all the teams with their fake handles and it's like putting out false news. It's like, why? What are you doing? And it's like, oh, we're signing that guy. Fake news. Like, damn it. No other news. You know, it's weird because I'm seeing these pictures of Kobe Bryant and with his uniform on and his head wrap. And it's like, is that Justin Fields? I don't know, just in the face, because obviously different uniform, different number, different person. But it's just like just scrolling, and it's like you see, and it's like, why is Justin Fields in the uniform wearing a different? It's like because that's not him. And no, I'm not saying we all look alike. I'm saying they look alike. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Wait, what is this? Running back Hall reacts to the Jets deals. Running back Breece Hall was franchise tagged last week by the New York Jets for $14 million, and then he tweeted, "Damn, we sure got a lot of money in Florham Park. All these contracts, dude, signing. Damn, we sure got a lot of money in Florham Park. All these contracts, dude, signing." He's laughing. So, So what do you think? Is that a flex? Like, yeah, we got a lot of money, or is it kind of like we got a lot of money because I'm on the damn franchise tab and I can't get paid? Now that sounds like that kind of sarcasm. Damn, we got a lot of money, but I can't get a contract. Is what I'm hearing from Breece Hall. Now I could be wrong, but I'm not. He like all these contracts dudes is signing, and y'all got me on the franchise tag. Now, 14.2 million, that's nice and all, but we see what Walker just got, 3-year deal. I think Breece is a little salty. Now, other news. The Titans are signing former Giants tight end Daniel Bellinger, as reported by Schultz Report. Bellinger is reunited with offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, who was 8C when the Giants drafted him in the 4th round of the 2022 draft. So the Titans get a tight end. Exciting stuff. Red Baron, what's going on, brother man? Big up to everybody joining us this impromptu live Monday early afternoon. As free agency, the tampering period is open. The contracts won't be official, I believe, until Wednesday when the league year officially opens. But yeah, shout out to everybody that is interested and down and seeing what the Bears are doing, whether you are tuning in on the Nomad Network, on Kids of Canuck, or Sports Chicago Style, RRR SCS. Make sure you are subscribed to all three, please, and thank you. And as a reminder, Nomad Kids and probably myself will be back on this evening, today, at 6 p.m. Central Time, and be breaking down and talking about our new players, Never and Kobe. Let's see. Titan, nothing new. No, nothing. No innuendo rumors. Nope, not seeing nothing else. All right, so we've addressed as team-wise defensive tackle depth, and we got a starting safety. And that's about it. Not saying that these are bad. You want more, but no more, not right now. But also interesting that Trey Hendrickson, I guess the big fish on the defensive end market has not nibbled anywhere that I can see. So there are still some names out there, or talents out there. Yeah, right on Cloud Chasers. The coaches are getting players that fit their systems. Yeah, I forgot to mention the center, but the center, Bradbury, does what Ben Johnson, wants to do as an offense with the pulling, with the pass protection. He's solid. He's a good vet. From what Kez was saying about Never, our new defensive tackle, he's a motor guy. He's a disruptor, from the fire plug middle of the defensive line. Cool. Kobe Bryant, we just saw him, in the Super Bowl. So the upgrades are coming. They're not blowing the budget on, one player. They're spreading it around. And they're leaving themselves open. We got news to draft the best player available. Now, speaking of the best available in the center market, Linderbaum, Ravens free agent center Tyler Linderbaum reached an agreement today on a record deal with the Raiders, who are awarding him with a 3-year, $81 million deal that includes $60 million guaranteed and makes him the highest paid interior offensive lineman in the NFL. Well, all right. So the aforementioned that I just mentioned, Big Fish, has been reeled in, and he's a whopper, to continue the analogy. But 3-year, $81 million. 25, 30, 75, 3, 6, 9. That's, what is that, 27 million a year? 60 in guarantees? Are we mad that Ryan Poles didn't spend that kind of Lucci on Mr. Linderbaum? Are we good with that 5th round pick in 2027 from Mr. Bradbury to be a center? For a bridge year, as I'm sure that they will identify a center in the draft, or that they want, that fits the system, and Bradbury will be utilized how he was with New England, because New England was able to trade him because they drafted a center last draft, Jarrett Wilson, I believe, in like the 2nd round. So he's had all year to develop behind Bradbury, and now he's going to be starting next season. And I'm thinking the Bears are going to do something similar to that. Now, I know kids is not going to like this. Sorry, kids. But the Arizona Cardinals have agreed to terms on a 2-year, $12.25 million deal with former Falcons running back Tyler Algier. After 4 seasons in Atlanta, the reliable Algier heads to the desert. So 2-year, 12, so he's getting $6 million a year. Thereabouts. So running back is off the board. Yeah, so let's see. The Raiders gave up, Crosby, but they saved that cap money and was able to, utilize that some for Linderbaum, and they got 2 first rounds going forward. Nice. And then also, I'm sure Ashton Jeanty is a little bit happier, with upgrade there at center, as well as I believe it's a safe bet to assume that the Raiders will be taking, what is it, quarterback Mendoza at number 1, or do they dare trade back? Because looking at the big boards and the mocks and such, looks like Mendoza is almost the only quarterback going in the first round or projected. Is that Ty Simpson maybe? But there are no, 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks like when Caleb Daniels and Drake May went. With Bo Nix down there. So how many quarterbacks went in the top 20? Like what, 4, 5? This year, maybe 1 in the entire first round. And if his center coming into the league is the number 1 center in the league, he's got Genty to hand off to. We see what the Raiders are trying to do. All right. You can see that plan coming together. But no new news, no new updates, no new signings. All right, there is looks like a little number change. Cairo Santos is going to be back to number 2, and Kobe Bryant will wear number 8. So Kobe was like, hey, kicker, let me get my number, big dog. And he's like, yes, sir. All right. Any other? No other moves yet that I can see. Nope. Linderbaum deal. Algiers. Y'all see anything else? Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, wait, that's not us stuff. All right. I am told, Todd Archer, that the Dallas Cowboys have been in contact with Arizona safety Jalen Thompson today, one of the more sought-after safeties. His familiarity with secondary coach Ryan Smith. Why not? Because, we already got a safety, so one of the more sought-after after we got ours in Mr. Bryant. Let's go. All right. So things are happening around the league. Let's see, what is this? No, okay. Nope, okay, not seeing anything else right now, but can jump off. Let's see, what is this? No, wait, nope, nah. Yeah. Okay, take your time. Linderbaum, yeah, we saw that. All right, so I guess how do I do this? Because I want to also look at free agents. And see if, let's see, spot right. I guess we can pull them up. And then we go by position. I guess I can share this right now, because we will come back to this, but let's do that. And then we are going to do this. And then we're going to, we got to stop that one first. Oh, my bad. Okay, we're still good. We're good. Okay, now we're going to go here. And we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go there. Aha. I'm gonna turn that off, and boom, there it is. All right, now let's see how it's looking. Let me make it change the size a little bit for you. And this, oops, what the hell am I doing here? Oh, sorry, got a little twisted there. All right, there we go there, and then we can go here, and then we can do a little boom, boom. That should be good. And then we go here. All right. Now Jalen Phillips is already off the board. Now, are there any position groups that anybody would like to see as far as free agents are involved? And then hold on 1 second. Let me go here to make sure I have this screen also in view. Hold on. Making a little adjustments to that. All right, put that there, put that there. Move that to that tab. All right. Now you're there. All right, we're good. All right, we're good. All right, so free agency wise, we are here. So let's look by position. Just take a gander at tackle, left tackle specifically. Tyler Decker looks like still out there. Cam Robinson, James Hudson, Kevin Beecham, Lucas Humphreys, Landon Young, Buford. So you got a list of tackles out there. What are we looking at edge wise? Who's left out here? Phillips is done. Draymond Jones, Osai. Didn't Osai just sign with somebody, the Jets or the Giants? So yeah, there's not a lot there. Defensive line. What else? Defensive line. Oh, there it is. Interior defensive lineman. Neville Gallimore. Yep. To Chicago. That's already updated. Wait. These are not free. Nope. These are all types. Yeah. What else? All right. So nothing. Anybody excites you in the free agency? Still on the board? As there are. What is this? Oh, that's fantasy football or something. No new updates. No new updates. So yeah, wait, let me switch the screens. So hold on, I gotta remove that. Then I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And you click there. And you click there. And then you click there. Then you click that and that. And then boom, there it is. All right. There. All right, cool. So looks like we got a little lunch break going on with the agents and front office people. Nothing seems to be jumping or moving. Yeah, so basically it seems as though the Ravens traded Linderbaum to the Raiders and 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. I mean, granted, Linderbaum signed in free agency, but he was a Raven. So the Ravens lost their center and 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby. Ha, nice. What up, Mike? Filled with optimism. New season. The power of polls compels you. Yes, it does. Because what we saw last season from this coaching staff, both sides of the ball, we saw actual player development and something that we had not seen in a few regimes of staffs. Look at the development of the rookies and how they contributed and how they were brought along slowly and weren't put on the field until they were, signed off on and ready to contribute. Some didn't come in until midway in the season. It's like, oh shit, this kid can play. If we can continue that, we can build something that will take the North and not give that shit back. So it involves depth signings and quality signings like never Gallimore, and then you're starting front lines with Bryant on team friendly deals. Because I swear, if this deal of where the hell is it? Lindenbaum, are we gonna really spend that much on a center? A 3-year, $81 million deal, $60 million guaranteed? Is that what we're doing now? Is that how we paying centers out here? You know what I mean? And it's like, ooh. So you got to be able to identify, low wallet share players, as kids would say, and have that can contribute. Uh-oh. Here's another one kids ain't gonna like. Speaking of, according to Adam Schefter, former Jaguars running back Travis Etienne will be signing with the New Orleans Saints. He is from Louisiana, and it was important for him to be near home. So he, that is not a team-friendly discount, but he would probably give a team-friendly discount to the team he wants to go to. And he wants to go there because, it's close to the crib. So the free agency time period, it's not all about money or, what team has needs. And it's like, well, that kid or that player fits this need, he should come to this team. It's like, nah, they have agency, on their decisions. Hence the name, free agency. So they choose what teams to be a part of. And, never Gallimore and Kobe Bryant, chose to be a part of the Bears, whereas Bradbury was traded. I'm sure he's cool to be here, but, it wasn't like he signed here, it wasn't his choice. So Mr. ATN, he chose to go to the Aints. And so now they get ATN and Kamara, because Alvin's still there in Nolans, ain't he? With the Aints. So they got some wheels coming out of the backfield down there. Now they're probably still gonna really suck. Suck bad. I'm just saying. But yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, there's move. Wait, no, that okay. The Raiders plan to play Jackson Powers Johnson at guard after acquisition of Tyler Lindenbaum. They don't plan to trade him. So anybody thinking that the Raiders would be trading Powers Johnson because they got Lindenbaum? No. He's just going to move over to guard. And that was the only update thus far. So no new signings and or trades. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of money being spent out here. And it's like by a lot of teams that can afford it, but should they be spending it? All right, looks like we have another update here. According to Adam Schefter, former Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson has reached an agreement today with the Tennessee Titans. Robinson will, be reunited with Titans OC and his former Giants coach, Brian Daboll's sack. Brian Daboll's sack. Ah. All right, so Titans are out there making moves, spending some money, signing some players. Powers, what's his name? Powers Jackson? Powers Johnson, Raymond saying he was a guard coming out of college. No, I thought he was a center, right? What? really thought he was like one of the top centers at that time when he came out in the draft. And then I could be mistaken, but he's a guard now. Let's see what it is. Huh? Let's see. No new news. No new news. No new news. Any thoughts, no maniacs? Any thoughts, Canuckers? Any thoughts, Sport Chicago Stylers? Are we having a good free agency day? Here's another kids Canuck favorite. Defensive tackle Kyrus Tonga, Bears legend, is going to the Chefs. So, defensive tackle Tonga to the Chefs to beef up their defensive line. So the Chefs are out there signing people as well, making trades, making moves, renegotiating contracts and making cap space. They're trying to make another run, y'all. And we're not going to allow that. Because the Bears are going to be whooping all that ass. Yeah, that's true. Poles is not spending big money. But the big money that's being spent, on a Linderbaum, as fans, would you be like, yeah, we need to spend, $27 million on that center? All the other positions of need and all the depth, we'll figure that out later in the draft, sure. Or yeah, we're gonna pay $30 million a year for defensive end and Jalen Phillips. It's like, nah, we just can't do that. Not in those positions. The cap is a myth. It's manipulatable, but eventually it's gonna come due. And so these $30 million deals, $25 million deals are not in the cards. It's depth, it's quality. And then we're going to also have to trust the coaches to develop and draft well and develop. If the coaches can see, here's the thing. When people say, well, just use Hendrickson, for example. Well, Hendrickson has a history with Dennis Allen. He was with Dennis Allen when he was drafted or something. And now, we should reunite them. And my opinion is, I understand that Hendrickson, for example, is, a good player, but he's so expensive and he is on the back end of his career. We have the coach that made him into what he is, or help develop him. Why can't we find another piece of clay that these coaches want and let them mold them into the new Hendricksons, into the new Crosbys, into the new Linderbaums? And that way we're developing from within and we're getting badass players, that are filling our team at multiple positions, if not all. And then the players that we can't afford, we can flip for draft picks, because now the Baltimore Ravens, who have been, perennial contenders, unless Lamar chokes on it again and again or again. But, they're trading away 2 first-round picks for, defensive end, but they're also giving up a center. But that center is going to sign for $20 million. And I'm sure by the time the comp pick calculations come back around, the Ravens are going to get some kind of comp pick for Linderbaum, depending on, the math and all that. So we want to draft players. We want our coaches to develop those players, and we want to win with those players. And then when those players that don't fit anymore, we can't afford, we can flip them for further assets to keep the cycle going and keep the development going and keep the winning going under the cap, you know, requirements. You know, that is, you know, obviously a way to look at it. Maybe it's the right way, maybe it's the wrong way. It's just a way. Is it the way that they will do it? I don't know. But now there is some other news. Former Eagles wide receiver Jahan Dotson reached agreement today with the Falcons on a 2-year, $15 million deal worth up to 17, including 10 guaranteed. So it looks like Ian Cunningham and the Falcons are, or if he's in charge of Football Decisions League, I want my 3rd round picks, is replacing Darnell Mooney with Jahan Dotson. 2-year deal, 15. So what is that? 7.5 mil a year. You know, Dotson, wasn't he a higher round pick from, was that Penn State or someplace over there? Well, he is now with the Falcons. No other updates. All right, so, but yeah, as far as team building, you know, obviously this is not Madden. You can't force trades. You know, you can't, you know, manipulate the numbers to get the trade to work. But in real life, IRL, as the kids say, you want to develop through the draft, as Paul said, build through the draft. And now you can pick and choose what players you want to retain, you know, and what players you want to flip for picks, and you keep developing them and you develop them. And as the coaching tree blossoms, you know, Declan Doyle was the first sprout from the Ben Johnson coaching tree. And now he's going to be out there in Baltimore as offensive coordinator calling plays. You know, Al Harris got a couple of interviews. You know, would he be considered a sprout, you know, under from Dennis Allen, you know, his coaching tree? But on offense or defense, if you have a head coach that we do in Dennis Johnson, you know, now his 2nd year, you know, you have an older guy in Dennis Allen who's probably not going any place. He's had his opportunity at head coach, and now he's at defense coordinator. You expect them to develop coaches as well as players. So when those coaches are developing, they're going to leave. And that is the sign of a successful organization. You know, when you have players and coaches that are desired around the league because of the winning that is happening. And let me clarify that. It's all contingent upon the winning. Damn it. Now, any more updates? No. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. What was this? No, we already knew that. Oh, wait. Here we go. Splash for the Saints. They are signing former Bills guard David Edwards. So the Saints are making another move on their offensive line by signing a former Bills guard, not named Ryan Bates, but David Edwards. Okay. Jade Walker put up a post that said, "Love you, bro," and the deuces to Olamide Zaccheaus. You know, they're you know, you build relationships, and it's like, well, now you're on that team. You know, now I'm on this team. Wait, I just saw something here. No, I didn't. I thought I saw it move. But yeah, we're hanging out. What y'all munching? Y'all drinking? What you doing? It's lunchtime. You at work? I know you at work. You know, you got the get your phone, get your device on with the little Bluetooth going on, listening to old trips. You know, talking about who we getting, who we got, who we not getting, who we ain't got. And we do appreciate it. Whether you are subscribed, which you should be, on the 3 networks that are being streamed right now, the Nomad Network, at Kids of Canuck, and Sports Chicago Style Triple R SCS. Appreciate those subscriptions, appreciate the comments, appreciate the support. Well, let's see. The Giants have released veteran punter Jamie Gillen, per source. Okay. Sorry to hear that, Jamie, but give a damn. That's not a signing. That's not a trade. What is that doing here? Huh. Okay. Yeah, no new rumors, in deals with, could be talking to. No Trent Williams from the left tackle? Yeah, Trent Williams. No news there on trades. Wait, what is this? What is this? The Raiders have agreed to terms with wide receiver Jalen Naylor on a 3-year, $35 million deal, including 23 guaranteed. All right, so Naylor leaves the Vikings and off to Vegas. 3-year, 35. So is that 11 and change a year? Not bad, for wide receiver 3. Yeah. Out there to develop his rookie quarterback. So the Raiders out there spending some money, signing some guys. As, teams are hoping to upgrade where they can, what they can. But there are still some, names on the board, free agency wise. Yeah, Mike, Oz, he signed a deal with Atlanta already. So he is not only off the board, he is off the board and off the team. And he was off the team and on the free agency board. Now he's off the free agency board on another team. Yeah. My words, And then also with trading DJ, is this time for White Chocolate, JP Richardson, to get some love? Because he was on the team, on the practice squad all last year under development, as we were talking about. And at the end of the season, he started to get on the field on special teams a little bit, so they were easing him in. Next season, does White Chocolate, start to get smooth on him out there? But then also, there's going to have to be another addition to the wide receiver room. And according to the free agent lists, I think wide receiver might be a thing to look at in the draft. Because while we got a minute here, let me remove this one and share this screen with you, just to take a gander at the wide receivers. And that's over there. And boom, there we go. Tyreek Hill, who's got a rebuilt knee. No, thank you. I think Mike Evans, didn't he just sign someplace? But no. Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Darnell Mooney, Brown, Tutu Atwell was a suggestion from someone, I believe, last night on Nomad at Night. Curtis Samuel, Marquise Brown, Jawan Jennings, Khalif Raymond, Rashid Shaheed still out there. I'm sure he's going to get top dollar. DeAndre Hopkins, Greg Dortch, Noah Brown, Keenan Allen, Jahan Dotson just signed. Nick Westbrook, Zay Jones, Hunter Renfrow. So, I mean, there's Sky Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Laquan Treadwell. Where is Tyquan Thornton? People were talking about him because of his size and speed. So there are a plethora of free agent wide receivers out there. And the question will be, does Ryan Poles want to go with that route or, go back into the draft? And thus far, we are not seeing any movements. And go back here and back there. There we go. And no new updates. The last one was 4 minutes ago with the Raiders signing Naylor, so we're all caught up. So yeah, this is where we're at. 2 hours in, and we have a depth piece at defensive tackle, and we have a starting safety. Okay, I ain't mad at it. Now, this, I think I can share this. Yeah, it's just one rep, and there's no audio. So let me see if I can pull this up. And let's see, open it. Go here. Then I'll go here. Da. And then we will go. Where are we going? Why can't I see it? Okay, this is different. What the fuck is that? Why can't I see a damn bookmark? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out something here. I'm getting it. But I do not know what is the issue here. I don't know why I cannot see the bookmarks. Well, it's not there. It's like the link is not there. That's wild. Yeah, I'm trying to share with you a play of never, but I can't seem to do that. We'll get that on later, hopefully, possibly. Yeah, but I don't know why that's not registering as a thing to click on, and it's irritating me. When the tech works, it's beautiful, but when it doesn't work, it's like, just fucking work. I'm clicking on it, it ain't working. I'm clicking, it ain't working. Well, stop clicking and restart it. I don't know. Well, let's see. Refresh. Oh, we got news, we got movement. Oh, and Nomad's not gonna like this one. Former Falcons defensive tackle David Onyemata is heading to the Jets on a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. So defensive tackle David Onyemata, $10 million to the Jets. Yeah, I know. I'm sure Brees is gonna love that as well. Oh, cool. We spend $10 million on a tackle, and I can't get a contract. I got to play on the damn franchise tag. Really? Is that what we're doing? Oh man. Let's see. What do you say, Mike? There. People forget we got guys on the team the coaches like, that get their chance. Yeah. You think Raymond, $10 million, David Onyemata's a steal? Right on. But I don't. Let's see. No other updates, rumors, innuendos, talking to. No, no, nothing, no, nothing official, nothing unofficial. Not yet, at least. But yeah, we are obviously fans because what is this? March 9th. We are on the edge of our seats, bated breath. Some of y'all just got bad breath. That's different. But us Bears fans, we got bated breath. That's them Kitties fans with the bad breath. But we are excited to see the upgrades, the additions to our squad, and taking note, of what's happening around the league of players that maybe we wanted on our squad that aren't because of whatever issues they don't want to, or we can't afford them, or whatever. But much appreciation to all you fans out there who are borderline fanatics, for your team, for the sport, and are just willing to spend your time, efforts, your money, your emotions in, this sport, in this team, or whatever team you're a fan of. And it's like, yeah, it's some good shit, y'all. Let's go. And then there are those that love the team but don't love the ownership, the staff, or the players. And it's like, F that guy, he sucks, and this and that. And it's like, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I'm not gonna tell you how to fan. Some of those some of our brethren and the fans are those will never make it. Remember that cartoon? I don't remember that dude's name, but he was always the Debbie Downer, or Doug Downer, since he was a little boy. But that was his name. Will never make it. He sucks. This sucks. And then you got those that is like everything's sunny. Hey, this is fine. This is positive. And so you get both ends of that spectrum, the highly optimistic and the overly pessimistic. I try to stay kind of in the middle and just see what's going on, and keep it real. It's like, yeah, that player, he has his questions, but let's see how he plays. We don't know him from before, but maybe he makes a name here. We're not sure of this this prospect from this small school that no one had on their big draft board, but we drafted him. He sucks. It's like, no, give him a chance and we'll see what happens. Now, over the course of, what is this, Ryan Poles' 4 years, we are looking at a team that we think we have our franchise quarterback. We think we have our head coach of not the future, but the present on to the future. And we think we have a staff in place that can identify and develop talent. So let's see what happens. I mean, the first year under the guy, playoffs. So can we keep elevating that? That's the goal. That's the plan. But to over project, it's like, oh yeah, we signed this guy, we trade for this guy, or we pay this much for this guy. That's going to get us over the hump. Like, nah. It's flashy, and maybe it shows that it's like, oh, we're trying, but it could be detrimental in other ways. So, long story short, too late. There is no right way or wrong way as fans to say, well, they should be doing this, or they should sign this guy. That's too much, or they should pay that, because we don't know all the information. But the results are what the results are. And in year 4 of Ryan Poles, year 1 of Ben Johnson, to have a couple playoff games at home, yeah, I think we're going in the right fucking direction. So it may be treacherous on how to get to the end goal with the obstacles, with the hurdles, with the pitfalls, but negotiating those, jumping over them, and being able to navigate your way is the goal. And we hope that we have a front office and Ryan Poles that can do that. And it's not about giving him the grace or giving him a break. It's about just seeing the results. And so far, the results are positive. I mean, from where he inherited this team, with the talent, with the cap situation, it wasn't the best. It wasn't even good. And then you look at some of the signings, it's like, well, why the hell would he pay Dio that much or Grady Jarrett that much? And then they get hurt. Well, you can't forecast the injuries. You spend a high round pick on Ozzie and then you develop and now he's hurt. I mean, that's part of the game, the physical part of the game. But you look at the mistakes that Poles has made, like the Claypool fiasco, trading a second round pick. Okay, fine. Maybe overpaying for Dio. Okay. Having your third round picks, like a Zach Pickens, like a Velus Jones, not pan out, like a Tyler Scott, but then also you got to look at the development of those times and who the staff was under the Floosey Goosey and whatever the hell that was going on there. All of the changes that on the offense with the coordinators, and it's like, what are you doing there, Floosey Goosey? And it's like, deuces. So this new staff, we actually see rookies being like, yeah, oh shit, Coastal Loveland, oh shit, yeah, Luther Burton, come on, Darth, yeah. I mean, all the way down to Stewie, Manungai running hard, other than Hippolyte, he got hurt, but when Big Washington, big 400-pound tight end pulls around, he took his soul, and it's like we all saw it happen. It was like, oh yeah, he earned that injury. We saw it. But I would still give Hippolyte a little more of a grace period than like a Noah Sewell, who's been here for a few years, can't stay on the damn field. So injuries are part of the game. But, the depth behind those injuries, is the meat and potatoes, if you will. So the depth signings like Neville Gilmore and whoever else we get, that's depth, that's good quality, not big name or big dollar, but good quality. Bradbury trade, he's a good solid player. As long as we keep getting good solid players, we're going to be a good solid team and keep it moving until we do acquire those top notch talents because we've drafted and developed them, or if we do need to trade for a position of a top notch guy, we will have the draft capital to do that because of the team management and of all the things that I've been talking about. But there is, former Buccaneers, 6-time Pro Bowl Mike Evans is expected to sign a 3-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, shit. So Mike Evans, there was talk about him going to the Giants or the Jets, one of them, but he's going to the Bay. So Brock Purdy, is now not throwing to the hip hop rap star Brandon Ayuk no more, or the Debo who ain't made who ain't met a buffet he ain't like, is now getting to the experienced vet of Mike Evans. But now with him, staying on the field is a thing. Let's see how that works. Good luck to all of them. Let's see. Best management of our team in the 50 years I've been addicted. Right on, Mike. From top to bottom growth. Yeah, I see that. And this is the best outlook I believe we've had as an organization from the top down. And now we'll get to President Warren and the whole stadium thing in a minute. But the Steelers have agreed with cornerback Jamel Dean on a 3-year, $36.75 million deal. So cornerback, another Buck leaves and goes to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh seems to be doing things with their defensive backfield. A lot of changing moves over there. I saw earlier that Minkah Fitzpatrick got traded. Was it to the Jets or the Giants and signed like a $30 million 3-year deal? But it was like, that would be an interesting move for the Bears. But I think in the camp of, Kobe Bryant over Minkah, age, price. Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, from the growth from top to bottom and top. Now, President Warren gets his share of arrows shot at him from the fan base because, namely the stadium isn't built, or we don't even know where it will be built. Arlington Heights, Indiana, who knows? But he catches a lot of shit. But I don't think George would have been willing to up the ante and open up the purse strings for Ben Johnson if Kevin Warren wasn't there to make that process work. I think George was more than comfortable with floosey-goosey going forward and saddling Ryan Poles with him, and that would have been real bad, real bad. But with Kevin Warren in the house, now he was able to, be that buffer between Poles and George and be like, yo, George, we want to step into the AM, and into the modern times. We need this coach. He's going to cost 15 mil. Let me get that checkbook off you. And George's like, all right, cool. And now here we are with, a team in the playoffs with a coaching staff that develops players and works with the front office to identify the players that fit their schemes and all that stuff. And stadium-wise, now remember, Kevin Warren came into some shit because Ted Phillips purchased the Arlington Heights land without doing all of that due diligence beforehand. All right. Ted Phillips was the guy that signed the deal with the city of Chicago and the Chicago Park District for Soldier Field, and okay, fine. So Warren comes in, has cleaned all of that shit up because it's all shit. The payments that the Bears had been making to the Park District and the city never kind of got where it was supposed to go and pay off the stadium. So Soldier Field still has a huge outstanding balance. And when the Bears are like, yo, we've been paying our lease fee. Hey, that's between the Park District and the city of Chicago and y'all accountants and your cronyism and your corruption and all that. We ain't in that. So he had to, work through all that and then work with the city, be like, well, other locations in the city of Chicago because they're the Chicago Bears. That didn't work. That due diligence. All right. So Arlington Heights. And it's like Arlington Heights was like ching, 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 motherfucking ching. And they wanted their money, beyond what the state wanted. So it's the Arlington Heights people, it's the county people, it's the state people, and they all get their taxes and they all want they cut. This is Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to get their cut. We know how it goes. We know how it goes. Let's just say it like that. And I'm sure it's like that in many other states, but we know how it goes in Illinois and specifically in the city of Chicago with politicians and all of that. So President Warren has to do the negotiations with all the state people and the local people and get the taxes down. But how do you create leverage where there is none? You have to have other parties involved, to raise the stakes, if you will. So now Indiana gets involved, and then these locations. And after the state of Illinois saying, hey, Bears, we know y'all want to do this thing, but we'll get to you when we get to you. We ain't got no money for you. We can't do nothing for you, man. Now Indiana gets involved and it's like, hey, we want you over here. Now Illinois is like, hey, we can holler. You know what I'm saying? we've been wanting to holler. It's just been hard, but we got time now. And Warren is like, yeah, I thought so, bitch. So now you got the state of Indiana, pretty much throwing deals, incentives at the Bears to come right across the state line. And fun fact, Hammond, Indiana is closer to Soldier Field than Arlington Heights is. So that doesn't really matter. So the leverage has been struck. And now the state of Illinois has made tremendous progress on the deals, on the infrastructure, on the tax structures, and all of that stuff. Over the course of the period that Indiana has been involved, and now that Indiana has officially been signed, sealed, and delivered, that is like, yes, we are good to go. All aspects of the state government. Now, I believe it's March 18th. Not the Bears, but the state are having their vote on the bill for the thing that the Bears involved with. There's a acronym for it, some kind of deal, whatever it is. So if the state of Illinois says, nah, we didn't pass it this time, the Bears are going to be playing in Indiana. But if the state says, oh, no, we good, yeah, we can meet your terms, now they'll be playing in Arlington Heights. But either way, Arlington Heights or Indiana, there will be a new stadium, and that's what Kevin Warren was brought here to do. Now, it's not going to be in downtown Chicago, but oh well. I mean, so don't be mad at him for doing his job. But it just seems as though it's like, well, it's been 3-4 years. What's taking so damn long? That's the process, baby. It's not like the Bears set the political agendas and the time frames and all that. It takes time. And why are we trying to rush the shit? Let's take the time, do the due diligence, and get it right. Now, it's not about me and my pockets or, me making the best situation for the Bears, but as a franchise, who are you going to go with? The state that's giving you all kind of incentives, or the ones that are trying to give you the runaround? Come on. I mean, the Chefs moved from Missouri to Kansas, because of a better deal. I mean, so it's not unheard of in the NFL. So if it is in Indiana, it's going to be in Indiana. And now, according to Adam Schefter, former Browns linebacker Devin Bush has reached an agreement today on a 3-year, $30 million deal that includes a $21 million guarantee with the Bears. So $10 million a year for linebacker Devin Bush. Another need, another room addressed. A low market share value for a quality player, because Devin Bush, he's a quality player, right? Holler at me about Devin Bush. Are we happy? I think so. Because linebacker with Tremaine gone, with TJ and his fractured leg, and we don't know how that's coming back. Hippolyte had his problem staying on the field after getting rocked by Washington. Noah Sewell has his issues staying healthy and on the field. We did re-sign DeMarco Jackson. So we know DeMarco Jackson and Devin Bush are going to be in Dennis Allen's linebacker room. It's cap friendly. I'm thinking this is a nice signing. How are we feeling about that? Are we good? 3 years, $30 million, 21 guaranteed. All right. That's solid. I'm trying to see if there's any other news. He is, we're saying, he's Allen's type. So he's got speed. He's got positional versatility and flexibility. That means he can cover. That means he can come downhill and tackle on the run. And he's smart, because that is Dennis Allen's type. But now I'm seeing something here. Hope he bounces back from injuries. Not a good thing. But when that qualification of if he stays healthy, he can be a big piece of the defense. That as we know, as previously discussed, injuries are part of the game. So that whole qualification of if he stays healthy, it kind of scares me. But the player, yeah, cool. That qualifying line, frightening. All right, so we got a linebacker in free agency. We got a safety in free agency. And we got a defensive tackle in free agency. After trading for a center. So what does that say? It looks like the defense is being rehabbed, upgraded, changed. And there's going to be a lot of new faces on that side of the ball. So we're watching it happen. The Dennis Allen influence is being seen right here in free agency and after the trades as well. So yeah, let's get it going. All right, let me see if there's anything there. I like it as long as it can stay healthy. Damn it. All right. All right. Still, other than the earlier news that Bears were showing interest in cornerback James Pierre. That's the only other name that I've seen mentioned. What is this here? Full details on quarterback Malik Willis's deal is a 3-year, $67.5 million deal, $22.5 million signing bonus, 1.25 M 26 salary fully guaranteed, and it goes up to 21.5 M's in 2027 fully guaranteed, 2 M March 28 roster bonus, and a 28 salary of 20.5 M's. $45 million over 2 years for Miami's new QB1. Right on, Malik Willis. He went from backup to paid. Yeah, because Tua is out there. And I heard I saw something that Tua was supposedly Cunningham and the Falcons were interested in Tua. And I was like, oh, really? They want to see him throw up gang signs on the turf down there in Atlanta? What's going on? Okay, and a little information on Kobe Bryant. 6'1", 193 pounds from Cleveland, Ohio. He was a Jim Thorpe Award winner in 21. First team All-American, 2-time first team All-ACC. Drafted in the 4th round at pick number 109 in 2022. Transitions from cornerback to safety in the NFL. 227 tackles, 7 INTs, 7 pass deflections, 7 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, 1 TD. Super Bowl champion, durable, versatile playmaker. Yep. Versatility, durable, playmaking, and speed. That seems to be the theme. Let's see. Bush signing is good. And I know you would like that Bush, Red Baron. we know your thoughts about the Bush. Muff. Settle down, Red Baron. Settle down. But yeah, we are making some moves here on the defensive side of the ball. Nothing flashy. Nothing outlandishly spent. but solid, good players. Can't be mad at it. I know you love Bush, especially that time, Red Baron. You nasty. You just nasty. Mm. All right. Let's see. In 2025, new Chicago Bears linebacker Devin Bush had an 86.8 PFSN linebacker impact score, which was 12th. He's second in the free agent class with a 69.3 passer rating allowed. He's fourth in the free agent class with 3 interceptions, 2 defensive touchdowns, and only a 7% missed tackle rate. So this boy can play some ball when he's on the field. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's see, there was something. Where is this? That I was trying to set up with all of our people here. But I don't know if no, I think that can only do that on I'm sorry, on the YouTube. I was trying to set up a poll, to have your input, all the no maniacs, all the Canuckers and all of the stylers on your thoughts or grades of our signings today thus far. Would you give Devin Bush? Well, let's go in order. Never. Gallimore, what grade would you give that? A, B, C, D, or F? For the signing. For Kobe Bryant, what would you give that? For Devin Bush, what grade would you give that? Individually. And then we can't do it as a team until they play. No other news. Yes, I can't put up a poll here. Okay. Oh, well. Okay. Yes, we know Ian about Devin. No other news. No other signings. Is this like a slow free agency day or what? Some nice deals, some nice moves being made. Just seems a little almost as if they didn't start talking until 11 o'clock today. But we know, they've been talking for weeks. Come on. Yeah, definitely. Devin Bush and Kobe Bryant are definitely adding some speed, as Bush ran a 4.43 in his combine. Yeah, so he got some juice at linebacker in those legs right now. Let's see, a C and a B, right? So that's passing. And it's better than D's. Okay. How about our overall start grade? I don't know what that means. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, start. I mean, I don't know. Starting at 0 because they weren't on the team. Come on. Who else out there free agency wise would you think a B overall, a B minus overall? Okay. Are there any other free agents at any other positions that you would like to see signed? Let's see. In 2025, Devin Bush had 125 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 defensive TDs, 8 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. I like it. Now, news. The Ravens are not tendering running back Keaton Mitchell. He will be a free agent. Watch for the Giants here. We know Bears signed Bush. Yeah, we know it. We know Bears got that Bush. Nasty Red Baron. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, all the moves overall, not one at a time. Yeah. I can dig it. But yeah, we definitely got faster there. I like that. What the hell? Oh, that's some fake news shit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's see. 3 years, 10 mil a year. That seems like a really good deal. One of the top off-ball linebackers. So, so he can hang with tight ends and running backs, in coverage. And that's something that we have been lacking. Team speed on defense. Which we are improving. Oh, really? So Devin Bush, one of the best linebackers in football over a couple of years, huh? Oh, cool. Yeah, he definitely. Dennis Allen, you could tell from his, let's say, his calls that players were a lot of times in position, but just couldn't keep up. Not only on those crossing routes and some of the slants where, now who was it? Whether it be Nashawn Wright or Tyreek or Jalen or, Kyler did better, and Jalen did a little bit better once he got a little bit healthier at the end of the season. But the team speed was noticeably bad on the defensive side of the ball. So, increasing that allows, I think, Dennis Allen to do more of what he wants to do. And it's not just a base 4-man rush and have everybody play coverage. And I think he wants to, get a little more jiggy with it. But having a front 4 that can still provide pressure and get sacks regularly without a blitz. Being able to, move players from, the versatility, like, all right, I'm going to blitz you this time, and this time you're in coverage, and being able to do that with all of your corners, safeties, and linebackers. So having that positional versatility also on the defensive line, where your tackles can play edge, where your edges can move in and play tackle. It seems like that's what they are looking for and want to build, at every position. And so the physical attributes, the mental attributes, and just being able to put it all together is a good formula for defense. I like it. And that I would think that's what they're doing, right? Because I mean, those are the words that have been coming out and the actions that they're taking. So we have a path, we have a direction on offense, under Ben Johnson and what he wants to do, and as that progresses and grows, and we have a direction, at least player-wise, concept-wise, on defense under Dennis Allen. We got the general manager in Poles who's willing, to work with his coaches on what they need. He's not forcing players on them, which is cool. And then we have a president who is doing his thing and finding a new stadium, wherever the hell that's going to be. But he's making it happen. I mean, this franchise is going in the right goddamn direction. Now, it may not be as fast as we all want, but it's going. And it's going the right way. So I think we're in a good place here. It's not about having patience and waiting to see, because they're going to have to show and prove right the hell now, obviously. And we understand that even with a lot of rookies, it takes time to develop, but they've set the precedent already. We've seen the rookies contribute. So now that bar has already been set. So anything under it is no bueno. So only up from here, all the way up, and that's what I'm looking for. So yes, Bears fans, we are going in the right direction. In my and many opinions, and all you fans of other teams, how you say y'all can suck it. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Wait, what is this? Tape the Bears. Devin Bush. We got that. Devin Bush pick 6. Always nice. 3-year, $30 million. Very good deal. Do I have to officially enter? The Bears have signed 4 players today with a total of 32 M's, which would mean any more signings would necessitate some restructuring of contracts. All right, so are you accountants and cap calculators? 32 M spent today. The kitty's running low. Let's see. Former Chargers guard Zion Johnson reached an agreement today on a 3-year, $49.5 million deal, including 32.4 guaranteed with the Cleveland Browns. So, guard Zion Johnson on his way to rocking in Cleveland. Yeah, I know the Drew Carey reference. I know I'm old. I know. All right. So with that just said, so spent $32 million today on 4 players. Oh yeah, Daniel Hardy's back. Never. Bush and Bryant, and so those 4 players, $32 million. And so we are pushing cap wise. So who are your restructure candidates? JJ, Montez Sweat, there aren't many other big contracts that can be restructured because DJ's gone. He was the biggest contract. Tremaine is already gone. So he only had a 1-year deal, but there's not a lot of restructuring to do, but some. But yeah, obviously something's going to have to be done. We haven't made some additions. And so Poles is going to have to make some moves. Does that mean, restructuring deals, trading somebody with bigger money? Does that $7 million of DeAndre Swift, come into play? Is an upgrade at running back possible for the money? Where, how, what can be done? Or are we looking at all, draft from now as far as filling the rest of the roster spots, because of the financial situation? Maybe another fringe signing. But yeah, I mean, just 4 players at 32 mil, whereas, a Crosby or a Hendrickson, is getting that damn near, for self for 1 year. So, you know what I mean? You get 4 for 1, and you need those 4 to start. Well, not all 4 are going to start, but you need starters, of which some are. A couple are. So having the cap management to be like, all right, we're going to move this around so we can afford to bring in, this $30 million player. We're not in that position yet as a team. We're still building out depth. So it's year 4, for Poles, year going into year draft 2 for Johnson. But team-wise, we want Madden kind of results this season. But as we can see, we are progressing up that hill. And, spending $30 million or trading away 2 first-round picks or both is not a conducive way to do that. I know it breaks hearts for everybody that wants, well, he's the top guy, or he's the the be all end all. It's like, nah, he's not. He might be, but not for this team. I mean, the be all end all. Linderbaum earned that contract from the Ravens. The Ravens got all kind of Pro Bowlers, at many positions. Roquan out there, offense, and Lamar, and how many Super Bowls they won. And now many chalk it up to Lamar at his salary. It was like $50, almost $60 million a year, choking on it. It's like you get paid that much, you get that much support and talent around you, high draft picks, all kind of free agent money spent, and y'all still can't get over the hump. Yeah, there's something wrong with that. So building up, developing your own talent, paying your own people, trading when you need to make trades is the way to go. No other. Well, shit. With that being said, would they announce if players had been restructured? I'm sure. We got movements that I do not see on here yet, but it does involve a Bear or spoiler alert, a former Bear. Here it is. Former Bears defensive end Dominique Robinson, Dom Rob, is headed to Houston on a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million. So Dom Rob, the former quarterback, the former wide receiver, the former tight end, undrafted free agent, developed the most that we've seen in this last year under the Dennis Allen staff and coach defensive line coach Gillum, that's his name. Now Dom Rob is spreading his wings and flying away to make $4 million on a 1-year deal with the Texans. It's like watching little baby birds in the nest, come out of the shell. You see mother bird, regurgitating the little worms and stuff into them, and they chirp, 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 chirp. And then they start spreading their wings, and now they're gone. It's like, fly away, Dom Rob. Do you? Good luck. Now, who are we going to replace this dude with? That becomes the question. But yeah. Wow. But it is also nice to see that the players that you don't re-sign in free agency are at least wanted by other teams and signed by other teams. It's like, all right. Whew. Let's go comp pick calculations. Because now we throw that Don Rob $4 million into the kitty. Because we spent $32 million in signings today, we just read. And then free agency wise, Don Rob $4 million, and whatever Oz made and whatever other free agent signed. If that number is more than we spend, I think we get comp picks for that. And comp picks add up to what? Players. That's why these Ian Cunningham comp picks from the league, those 2 third-rounders, one this year, one next year, are huge. Because third round is the sweet spot of the draft with the talent, so to speak. And we know that Ryan Poles needs as many bites at that apple, historically, but hopefully we can get that moving. No other signings. Dom Rob got out there getting paid. You gone, Dom Rob. All right, now, but we still got positions to fill, but no money to spend. So, what is the rest of free agency? Just looking at other players get signed, and we can't play no more in signings. That's cool if that's the plan. Whatever the plan is, let's let it work. Playing it work your plan. That's what they doing over there. So we can't get ahead of it all. Yeah. Let's see, speed, and most speed. Yeah, because I forget. DeMarco Jackson is re-signed as a re-signing, but DeMarco Jackson, Devin Bush, at linebacker. Yeah, that's faster. And then we putting Kobe Bryant back there at safety. And it looks like right now, other than there are other safeties out there, like the kid from Indy, good kid. Not Cisco, another kid. Nick Cross. But don't know if we can afford him. Any other position, who's out there? Can we afford them? Does this mean that anything not filled now is really going to be a draft issue? Because affordability wise, we can only add like depth, maybe. Unless there's some restructurings, I don't think we can afford any more starters, right? I don't know. Unless it's, another low, wallet share deal. But, without those restructurings, we don't have the cap space. Oh, damn, Cloud Chase. You got to give Don Rob a good riddance. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with you, but yeah, he's a good kid. Good kid. Let's see. No. Yeah. Never. Yeah, see, never Gallimore. He's been posting on Twitter. Bears Nation, let's do it. Thank you for the opportunity. Let's work. And then somebody replied, I gotta check if you fit. Finish this sentence. Till your good gets better and your better gets and never said and your better gets best. So he knows, good, better, best. He knows, he's down, he's part of the program. Welcome aboard. Now I can't stop saying never. I love you. I don't see any more news. Not only is the Bears, slow, but league wide, just a little drip of deals being made. Let's see. You had the volume down, Shorty. You just looking at me? It's kind of scary, but okay. Who have we signed? The Bears have signed a linebacker by the name of Devin Bush. Outside linebacker, got wheels, a 3-year, $30 million deal. So 10 a year. We've also re-signed DeMarco Jackson. He is for real. Earlier today. we've re-signed special teams ace Daniel Hardy, and then we've also signed safety from the Seahawks, Kobe Bryant, for base salaries in 26 of 1.5 million, 27 of 12.25 million, 28 of 11.5 million, 25 guaranteed. So that's a very nice deal for a starter. So we got a couple starters and we got a couple of depth guys so far today of the NFL free agency tampering period officially opening. And then Neville Gallimore at defensive tackle, for a little defensive tackle there, a little depth. In the meeting. Right on. At lunch now. Well, yeah, so that's the update. We've got other than the re-signings, we added a defensive tackle, linebacker, and a safety. All of which are disruptors. Obviously, Bush and Kobe with the speed, but Keds came on early and was talking about Neville Gilman, and he's not a run stuffer defensive tackle. He is a disruptor defensive tackle that gets pressure, into the quarterback's face. So a disruptor on a defensive line, the re-signing of Jackson, and then the acquisition of Bush added speed at linebacker. Then the acquisition of Bryant added speed at safety and versatility as well. So that's what has happened thus far today. And a shout out to former Bears, Olamide Zaccheaus, for signing with the Falcons. And a shout out to Don Rob for signing with Houston. Now, another piece of signing that no one on the Bears is going to really like, I guess. John Franklin Myers is signing with the Titans on a 3-year, $63 million deal with $42 million guaranteed. So 2-4 is that like 21 mil a year for John Franklin Myers, defensive tackle, 30 years old, 31 years old or so. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of cheddar, for defensive tackle. Now, and that's the going rate, but that's so much cheese that Poles ain't able to cut it. Oh, here we go. The Giants are signing standout linebacker Tremaine Edmonds to a 3-year, $36 million deal with 23.7 fully guaranteed. Well, shout out to the Predator, Tremaine Edmonds. It's Chicago, yeah, for the last time. But now if he goes out and say it's New York, yeah. No, that's not it. So how much is that? That's 12, 24, 12 mil a year, basically, for Tremaine Edmonds. And we paid Bush 10 a year. All right, so economically seems to work out. All right, so now we also throw that 36 mil, or however they calculate it, onto the Don Rob 4 mil, so that's 40. And then Oz, I forget how much he signed for, however much that was. So you're looking at 40 plus million right there, and we've only spent 32. So yeah, we are upside down in that formula. So would receive compensation because we have players leaving, getting bigger deals than we are signing. So that's another way of acquiring assets. So Tremaine wasn't out there long. Too bad we couldn't get a trade for him. But oh well. No trade, get the comp. Any other updates? So, but the Bears, former Bears, but yeah, John Franklin Myers, 20. We all mocked him in our offseason stuff, and it was like 9 million, I think, or whatever it was. It wasn't 20. It was not. But yeah, do your thing. And so the Titans. Speaking of Titans, the Colts are signing former Titans standout edge Arden Key to a 2-year deal worth up to 20 mil, 11 guaranteed. So 10 a year for Arden Key to the Colts. Arden Key to the Colts. All right, so there is another edge off the board, but I do not believe he was a fit for Dennis Allen. Isn't he more of a 3-4 edge or something that he wasn't a scheme fit? I remember talking about him previously on either Nomad at Night or Some Extra Sauce. One of. Oh, we got another. Former Ravens tight end Charlie Kolar is signing a 3-year, $24.3 million deal, including 17 M's guaranteed with the Chargers. So the Chargers pick up a tight end, and the Ravens are losing another piece. Well, have lost another piece, free agency. But moves are being made. Deals are being made. Nah, I'm going solo right now, Patrick, for the day, because I was available to come on at the time that the free agency started, whereas Nomad and Kids are going to be here live, and I'll probably still be here too, at 6 to discuss who and what has all happened, transpired today. So I am holding it down solo for now on the Nomad Network, on at Kids of Canuck, and on Sports Chicago Style, Triple R SCS. Please make sure you are subscribed to all three, because right now I have to hold it down for all three. Just moi, me, myself, and I, if you will. Okay, good cap work going on. Wait, is there an update? I missed something. I thought I saw something move. Nope, nothing. Yeah. So you can just keep that going. And this does auto update, which is cool. All right, so come to think of it, wait, what is this? I'm looking at some comments as far as Kobe Bryant goes, and some, well, everybody likes the move, likes the player, but many are seeing him as the Brisker replacement, whereas others are saying he's the Bayard replacement. Who knows? We don't right now. But right now, Kobe Bryant's the only one that will be on the team, once the contracts are official. No news about any restructures or like that as of yet. Keeping the eyes open, keeping the scroll going, keeping the updates updated and refreshed. Man, because it's not a holiday, but what do you call it? It's one of those holy days of obligation. If you're a football fan, as we are in this holy season, I guess, if Lenten season, if you celebrate, happy Lent. But you got obviously game days and the Super Bowl, but in the off season, when you have the draft, when you have free agency signings, when you have all of these momentous team changing events, it's like, yes, we're there. Speaking of team changing events, the Titans are spending some money, right? Have agreed to terms with cornerback Cordell Flott on a 3-year, $45 million deal with 32 fully guaranteed. Another Giants free agent follows his former head coach, Brian Dabalsack. All right, so the Titans are doing some stuff on defense there. Front lines, back end. It still will be to no avail because Titans. What are we even talking about? But yeah. That John Franklin Myers, he was a disruptor, but damn, that was expensive, and I can't afford it, says Ryan Poles. Let's see. Any other news? Any other contract negotiations going on? Any word of being linked to? Not yet. So, Neville Gallimore, Devin Bush, Kobe Bryant, DeMarco Jackson, and Mr. Hardy are all in the fold going forward. Shout out to Tremaine. Do your thing, baby boy. Shout out to Dom Rob. Do your thing. Shout out to Oz. Good luck, y'all. But yeah. Free agency is what is it, like 3 hours old now or so? And our team speed has gotten faster on defense. Our depth has gotten a little bit better. Quality wise, that are more scheme fits for Dennis Allen. And we're gonna keep it moving. Yeah, create a ticker at the bottom with the signings. Yeah, I would do that, but it's just me. But Nomad will have that going this evening at 6:00. Because remember, be back here at 6:00 for Kids, Nomad, and myself as we discuss any other signings that are happening or going on or will happen or go on. Let's see. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something. And can I change this? Can I do that? I can. Okay. Because I want to see something here. Hold on. This tab. Yes, it is. And it is 3. Okay, yeah. Because I want to make sure I'm out of the way and allowing all of the maniacs, all of the Canuckers, all of the Sports Chicago Stylers to dip on over to GTF, Gabriel Talks Football. And that's going to be starting up at 3:00 over on the Barroom Network. So I will be dipping out before that starts because I'll go over there and participate with them, as it's always interesting, fun, good time over there. And then we will be back here at 6 Central. Yeah. So that is the schedule for the afternoon of this free agency day. So yeah, in there you heard the plug at 3:00. Take asses on over. Check out GG and the Podfather. Here we go. This is somebody that wanted for the Bears, but Chiefs standout safety Brian Cook is expected to sign with the Bengals as they make a splash on defense. Wait. Hold on. There we go. He gets a 3-year, $40.25 million deal, 18 mil in year one. So he was pricey AF, a lot more expensive than Mr. Bryant. And then also, the Titans aren't done. They've agreed to terms with cornerback Alontae Taylor as the former Saints star moves on. He gets a 3-year deal worth $60 million, 42 fully guaranteed. And it looks like, what is that, 20 mil a year. Taylor, I saw earlier, he was liked by the Bears. I guess they were talking to him. But the Titans were able to pony up that 20 mil and bring Alontae into their team. So yeah, Titans, had that cap money to spend, like 100 mil or something, and they spending it. All right. We know about the glasses always help when they're on the eyes. So a lot of smart moves today. No overpayments. No, I don't think any reaches. So we're going to be looking forward to a lot of point of attack with the defense, a lot of pressure with the defense. But the thing is stopping the run, which is, been a thing here for the last few seasons. So with getting pressure, off the snap from the defensive line is one thing, but if the defense or the offense says, "Hey, they're getting pressure, let's just load up and lean on them and run it down," do we have the beef to stop that? No, we don't. So that is, I think, another draft thing. We look at McDonald and all of the other defensive tackle prospects. And by the looks of free agency, I would think defensive tackle, linebacker, and safety, cornerback are on the shopping list, as well as possibly something at center to develop. Maybe left tackle, another, guy like a Jude Bowery, because he's going to be a later round guy, and he's from where? Boston College. Who loves Boston College prospects and players? Ryan Poles. So wide receiver is still a thing of need or updating. So we shall see. But we do have another update. J.K. Dobbins announces he's staying in Denver. So running back J.K. Dobbins is staying in Denver. And then also the Seahawks have agreed to terms with cornerback Josh Jobe, per source, hanging on to one of its own as the Super Bowl champions repeat. So Josh Jobe, see, yeah, that's too small. See, I'll go full screen. Is going back to Seattle. Yeah, I guess we can do it there. So that way I'm on the screen with you. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you too. I know. Thank you. But yeah, any more Josh Jobe. Right, so he's going back there. So as many mock off-season armchair GM things like Stick to the Model or PFF or PSN or whatever the hell, you look at the free agents that were available, and it's like, oh yeah, I think the Bears could get him at this price. I think the Bears could get him at that price. All of the prices on those mock draft boards were way undervalued. Looking at the dollars that these deals are being signed for, all of those projected cap hit amounts were way undervalued according to what these free agents are cashing in on. So it's a good payday for a lot of these free agents. They've earned it. They've earned it. So, wait, what is this? The Bears just okay. We saw that already. Yeah, we know that Tremaine is out there getting paid. We know about this. So no updates right now. So yeah, that's where we're at. The Bears have spent some money, have gotten faster, have gotten a little bit younger, and we see some of our young fellas go away, and prosper. So yeah, it's NFL free agency day, and then the next NFL holiday is obviously the draft. I mean, come on, that's a whole freaking weekend starting on a Thursday, and definitely here at the Nomad Network, Keds Canuck and Sports Chicago Style will be doing it up live. Every call, and we're gonna have our snacks, have our drinks, your beverages, and make sure you come and hang out with us, and we look at the picks that we will make, the Bears will make, and see if how many of our mock drafts we make that we get actual players. Like, oh shit, I had him in my mock draft and we drafted him, and it's like, how many can you get out of however many picks we end up with? I want that pick NFL, and then see, like, player for player, if you can guess the same players that Ryan Poles chooses, you win a prize. Not really, but yeah, kind of like March Madness, because this is March, right? Yeah, March Madness and those brackets, but do it with the draft and the sign and the picks. If you match all of the picks, you win. But you can't account for trades. You know what I mean? You can't account for reaches. You can't account for kids like Hippolyte. When he was drafted last year in the 4th round, ESPN didn't even have a picture of him. It was like, who? Is he a prospect? Who? You know what I mean? So it would be kind of difficult to call every one of the draft picks, but some of you draft nicks, y'all deep into this shit, y'all into it, and y'all trying to do it, and good luck to you, more power to you, because how many more mock drafts will be done in the next month and a few days or weeks, however long it is when the draft is? 1, 2, 20, because you try with the different possibilities. It's like, all right, in this mock in the 1st round, I'm going to take a defensive end like a Mesidor, or a tackle, or defensive lineman like a Mesidor, or an edge like a Parker or Cassius Howe or whoever. Or I want a safety and to pair with Kobe Bryant and a Thieneman or with a guy with 3 names, Walker or something. Cornerback or whatever position. Do mocks and try to take whatever player you want in different position groups. So in like this mock, you start out with defensive tackle, and then you go from there. And then next one, you start out with edge, then you go from there. And then, you know what I mean? So just get an idea of the players who are scheme fits and who possibly, the Bears will be selecting. What is it, April 26th and that weekend? So it's not real life, and do not get upset if, let's say, well, I think this guy is a stud, a blue chipper. We should take him, and Poles didn't take him. Poles sucks. It's like, well, I don't know, but let the things play out. Let it play out. So it looks like the unconfirmed cap hits: Kobe Bryant, 5.9 million. Neville Gallimore, 4 million. Devin Bush, 1.5 million. DeMarco Jackson, he is for real, 2 million. So yeah, this is good cap management work here with these signings as well. So we've identified the players that Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson want. We've signed them to cap friendly contracts, and we've improved the football team without blowing the bank, without giving up picks, and without signing the top names and playing top salary. So if we can just keep doing this as an organization, keep hitting on the draft, we're sitting pretty is where we will be seated for many, many seasons to come. At least that's the plan. That's the hope. That's the wish. That's the dream. So yeah. And when I say Ryan Poles, obviously it's understood that Ben Johnson's the head coach, Dennis Allen is defense coordinator, but we're saying that, oh yeah, Ryan Poles, well, not we, but Poles detractors are saying, well, he sucks, but he got lucky because Ben Johnson was calling all those draft picks. And it's like, all right, sure. But a couple moves have been made. Let's see, the Commies are re-signing backup quarterback Marcus Mariota to a 1-year, $7 million deal. It can make up to 11 with incentives. And then former Browns defensive end Cameron Thomas reached an agreement today with the Falcons on a 1-year, $3.1 million deal. So the Falcons are out there still spending money. Ian Cunningham said, hey, I'm in the big chair now. Let's make some moves. Yes. Speaking of the Titans, when I said they've been spending some money, today the Titans have so far signed Alante Taylor, Cordell Flott, John Franklin Myers, Wandale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, and Mitch Trubisky. And rumor has it from Evan Sidery, the Falcons, as mentioned earlier, are closing in to sign Tua. Throw up gang signs on Mayfield. Tua will compete moving forward with Penix Jr. after being released by the Dolphins. So, yeah, so that still seems to be a thing, or not, or fake news or false news. But Tua, in Atlanta, they said they want to keep the consistency with a left-handed quarterback because Penix is a lefty and Tua is a lefty. No other movement officially there as of 2 minutes ago. But yeah, it's not a lot of big deals, big movement, but a lot of movement today. It's jumping. See if any other former Bears or free agents are getting signed around the league. Okay, so according to Rob Schwartz, the Giants were one of the rumored teams showing interest with the Bears after the combine for Tremaine Edmonds, but they could not work out any sort of a trade. So he hit free agency and they signed him. What up, King? Welcome to free agency. All right, and for those that are just joining, so far today the Bears have re-signed Daniel Hardy, special teams ace, re-signed linebacker DeMarco Jackson for 2 years, $7.5 million. Signed free agent defensive tackle Neville Gallimore, 2 years, $12 million. Signed linebacker Devin Bush, 3 years, $30 million. And signed free safety Kobe Bryant, 3 years, $40 million. And then former Bears, Tremaine Edmonds signed with the Giants. Dominique Robinson signed with the Houston Texans, the Shrouds. And Olamide Zaccheaus signed with Atlanta. So those are the Bears moves and former Bears players that have had some activity today thus far, because the day is still young. The free agency period is still starting. So there will be other signings after some restructurings and maybe a low-key trade here or there. But the second and third wave of free agency, which, won't kick off obviously for another week or so. Will there be players that are still available that are like, what the hell is that guy doing still available? Because they haven't been signed, just too much depth at a position, where they aren't necessarily needed, around the league. There's not a lot of teams that say, hey, we need you. Can maybe Ryan Poles find I don't want to use the word bargain because that sounds bad, but use assets to find those. Oh shit. I'm sorry. But more offensive line help for the Detroit Kitties. They've agreed to terms with veteran Larry Borom. So Larry Borom will Bears legend who went to the Dolphins will now be going to the Kitties. Larry Borom. I'm sorry not to laugh. I don't mean to laugh, but I do. Talk about former Bears. The Kitties. Oh, Don Burr. Have fun with that one. Oh, that just ain't right. Yeah, that was the last thing there that was updated. So yeah, that was. I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't, but I am. It tickles me. I'm tickled. All right, so yeah, the Bears spent a little bit of money, what they had, and they spent it judiciously. They got some good pieces, good deals. They increased the team speed, and so yes, this team will have some new faces come, 2026 and beyond. And that's one thing that Ben Johnson alluded to during the season. One of his post-game locker room speeches that, right now at that time, that team won't ever be the same, player-wise, coach-wise, staff-wise. So every year when you go into the season, that's your group. That's your squad. And the next season, it's going to be different. Guys retire, guys get hurt, guys get traded, guys are free agents, guys retire, so you have to replace them. You got to get younger, you got to get faster, you got to get better. And that's every position. So the faces, the personalities is all going to be different next year. And we can't say, well, it's going to be worse. And we can't say it's going to be better. But we hope it's going to be better, right? Because the culture has been set, and it was good. Now we need better, and then we're going to get the best, right? That's the way it works. Or that's the way it's supposed to. So that's where we're at. Now, what is this? Who are the best free agents still available? According to the NFL, we are almost 4 hours into the negotiating window of NFL free agency. Who are the best players still available? Now, according to NFL analyst Matt Bowen, for the top 10 free agents who have not agreed to new deals, Trey Hendrickson, edge, Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle, Odafe Owe, edge. Oh, that was the Elway. That was the guy that I think Nomad liked, or Cats wanted him. Braden Smith, offensive tackle. Quay Walker, linebacker. Reek Woolen, cornerback. Devin Lloyd, linebacker. Kyler Murray, quarterback. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver. And Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver. So those are the top free agents. I'm pretty sure, we're out of that whole Hendrickson discussion, with the amount of money that we get. I think he was looked at by Dallas, but Dallas then traded for Gary from the Packers. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, still out there, kind of surprising. Edges have gone a little bit. Linebackers have gone a little bit. But wide receivers, Rashid Shaheed, I'm kind of surprised he's still out there. So it's like, are they these, guys trying to get paid? You know what I mean? Trying to get that top dollar. So, that's why they're still out there, because teams like the Bears are cash strapped or cap strapped, and other teams that have the cap space don't need those positions filled. So this is how prices come down. If teams do not sign, players after so long, it's like, well, I know I was asking for 20 million, but how about 15? 10? And then that's when it's like, oh, well, for 10, we'll cut this guy at this position and then bring you in, because you're better. And so the waves of free agency, available cap space, and positions of need on rosters, all these things factor into it. So if, Rashid Shaheed, if his price comes down, because I'm sure he's demanding a pretty penny. But, we lost DJ to trade. We lost Oz to free agency. And yes, we got, J.P. Richardson, white chocolate, in the wings. We got Jade Walker in the wings. But you still want to add to that room, right? And is it going to be a draft thing? Because Romeo Doubs, Rashid Shaheed, probably not. Depth wide receiver, draft. Tight end depth, draft. And the rest of the defensive, not only depth, but starters, draft. I would not be surprised to see a rookie strong safety out there starting. I wouldn't be surprised to see a rookie linebacker out there, uh, you know, some place, rookie cornerbacks, plural. Yeah, I said plural backs. So the rookies are going to be another prominent part of this team going forward next year. And with the projected development that the coaching staff did last year on last year's draft class, if they can have that kind of success on this draft class as well and keep it moving, we're in a beautiful spot, baby. We are in a beautiful spot as a team. And then, Kevin Warren doing his thing. We're going to get that new stadium popping off. Wherever it is, I don't care. I got no preferences. Nostalgia, says Soldier Field, right there downtown on the lake. But shit happens. People move. Things change. Now it's over there or over there. What are you going to do? Watch it on TV if you can find the right app. Let's see. Need to resign. No other moves. Let's see. You got basically Devin Bush and DeMarco Jackson for the price of Tremaine. Nice. Because didn't we wait? Was it for the price of Roquan? We got TJ Edwards and Tremaine for that monetary, like value wise. And then now we done getting faster with these two guys and better, I think. Because DeMarco Jackson was a difference on the field on defense for this for the last season. I think when he was on the field, you saw it was different. More so than when Tremaine was out there, even when he was healthy. But yeah, so Devin Bush and DeMarco Jackson basically for what Tremaine cost. That's good value shopping. You can't shop top shelf or or the brand names. Sometimes you got to get a little generics. You know what I mean? But guess what? The generic is top shelf stuff, just in generic wrapping. You develop it, you bring it out, and then boom, now you got its top shelf that you get from generic. See how that works? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And no more moves yet, other than that great Kitty's pickup of Larry Bourne. 6 minutes ago, no updates. Yeah, I don't see anything else, so I think I will prepare to depart. And then I want you all, if you so desire, going over there to the Barroom Network. Greg Gabriel talks football GTF with the Podfather Aldo himself. Such a stud meister. And then come back here, whether it be on what up, White Ghost? Whether it be on at Keds the Canuck, Nomad Network, or Triple R SCS, Sports Chicago style. And we will be back this evening in a little over 3 hours at 6 p.m. Central. We're going to, all three of us, break down what the team has done today, league-wise, team-wise, and any other moves that are made between now and then. So thanks for hanging out with me. Everybody in the chat, thanks for building. And let's just keep looking forward to this Bears squad, this Bears team, this Bears organization being back to where they need to be in the top and the pinnacle of winning in this NF damn L. All right. So thanks for hanging out, and I will check y'all later. And we're gonna wrap it up. And let's see, we got a little closing thing that we're gonna do here. I'm gonna find those assets. Yeah, that's in there. And then we find the close. And then once I play that outro, and then I will see y'all later. All right. Bear down, y'all. Bear TF down. Damn it, I was supposed to play that. Why isn't it playing? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. All right. Wait. All right. Check 2. Let me close this. Stop that. Yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, full screen. I like that. Okay. All right. Take 2. All right. So, see y'all later, 6 o'clock, and see you over in the chat at the Barroom Network. So until then, bear down, y'all. Bear TF down. Damn it. Why isn't it fucking playing? Son of a bitch. Ah! All right. I don't know. It ain't working. I'm clicking on it. It ain't doing nothing. You know how that does. But do I do a take 3? I mean, look at me though. I know. But yeah, no, we're just gonna get out of here because I can't get this outro to play to close the show. I don't know why. I clicked on it, but it's not doing shit. Yeah, it's not doing that. Remove, edit. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to play the mother. All right. I'm just gonna hit stop stream. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Once again, y'all. All right, check y'all in a little bit. Peace. Bear down. Oh, there it is.